What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, October 27th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Wow. Skee Profit makes his season debut on Betting with the Bag, bets every game on the board and goes 5-0. A spectacular work. Our 4 NBA experts are now 15 wins and 4 losses, plus 11.28 units. We have Trot Wam joining us today to break down the NBA card. He is 3-1, up 2.4 units. 2.4 units. He had a Nuggets first quarter plus 140 casher in their first game of the year against the Suns last Wednesday. God, these guys are sharp. NHL was very disappointing last night. I was watching after the NFL show, which is just like zapping me of all energy and happiness right now. And just the amount of work that goes into it is just it's tough and stays on my mind. Afterwards, I'm watching the Canucks home opener. And I still feel like there's goals going to be scored. It feels like there's odd ran rushes, and the Ducks are up 3-2 with 2 minutes left in the game. So it looks like I'm gonna have a nice night in NHL. And fucking Nikolai Eller scores 2 goals in 19 seconds with a minute and a half left. So the Jets win. And then Horvat scores a fucking beauty to make it 3-2, setting up a perfect empty net situation for the over 5.5, and I don't get it. So disappointing day in NHL. The Nuggets cashed the first half, but of course, like an ass clown, I'm on the first quarter. And then I only made I didn't make enough bets last night in NBA. I was just kind of overwhelmed with all the football work that I had to do, and Skee's giving out gold. Dan Kelly's giving out gold. Peter Loshak is sifting through the gold, draping himself in gold. And there I am just watching everybody fucking playing with gold and doing squat ass nothing. So it was disappointing. But knowing that the cappers that we're working with, I just got to take a deep breath, be patient. To go 0-1 on a day when your expert goes 5-0 is very difficult to do. It's a very hard thing to do, and it makes me very angry. Makes me very angry. Shout out to everybody rolling with us. We have an exciting day. We're going to have Jose Bouquet jumping on with us to break down this World Series Game 2. Again, that was another spot that made me angry. I wanted the first 5 over 4.5, and I decided not to bet it. And now I've bet it today. And whenever I do that, it doesn't go well for me. And so I'm a little nervous about that. But thankful to be here. Shout out to everybody joining us on this. We have the sun shining for a rarity here. It's been shitty weather last little while. Sun is shining here in Toronto. Brian Watson in the house says, anybody on the Leafs? Yes, I made 3 moves in NHL. I'm going to make a 4th move, but I knew if I waited, I'd get a better line. Let me just pop up my NHL action because I beat the Leafs line move. Now, look, there's a storm in Chicago, and it sucks. It sucks. It's sad to watch. This sex assault case is just awful. They're all culpable. I'm imagining that my Florida Panthers to win the division at plus 450. Now, look, you don't want to be confident about an NHL futures bet 6 games into the year, but I imagine that my Florida Panthers plus 450 division bet looks very good until Joel Quenneville's fired, because he's going to be fired or he's going to resign because of this sex assault case. So Florida's going to be in trouble. And so not only is there this sex assault case, but there's also COVID going through the team. So it looks like Kane and Taves aren't going to be there. If it was just COVID and there wasn't this sex assault looming over them, and there's 2 sex assaults too, and 2 players and a 22-year-old intern, so 3 from that 2010 Stanley Cup year. If it was just COVID, you could think, oh, maybe these guys step up, with Taves and Kane out. But having this case, hanging over them is, so I'm on the Leafs. And I got a nice number. I got minus 170 and plus 140 on the Leafs. That's moved all the way to minus 200 and plus 125. So I smashed that line move. Stars minus 1. I got minus 125 and plus 200. I got a plus 133 minus 1. Now it's minus 150 and plus 170. I destroyed that line move. Then I got the Panthers minus 1. That hasn't moved. That's a little disarming. And then I'm going to be moving on the Flyers first period, but it was the Flyers on the money line full game was plus 145 last night. It moved up to plus 165 about half an hour ago. It's back to plus 160. Dan Kelly in the house, second quarter, Lakers OKC under 55.5 from our Dan Kelly. An immediate copy and paster. Those of you who are new to the show, we have 35 years of spreadsheets that Dan Kelly works his ass off on, and then feeds us the glory from that. All that hard work. That's why this show is so special. We have these cappers who have spent a lifetime mastering certain spots in sports, and then they share it with us. There's Nutflush Allen in the house. A Real Deal Prime says Blackhawks will lose to the Leafs. Nutflush Allen, Dallas Mavs team total over cashes. He's going to be taking team totals against the Houston Rockets, and he's doing the same thing against the Arizona Coyotes, and it's working very nice. Very, very nice. Serious business in the house. We got Remos top set. Razor, sharp picks, ready to go. Danny Lopez, J-Dub. We got Cab in the house. Darren Thompson, North Ender, says, just came from the Miami Dolphins press conference. What a mess my team is. That's from North Ender. Oh, man. What a great group. Top set, Red Girl. Mark Schillingberg says, cracked the NBA last night. 6-1 in a 4-leg parlay. Nice work. Absolutely great work. Fat Wally, ready to go. Like it's important. Says Green Bay versus Arizona Thursday night. Football minus 6.5 is a spot there for him for Arizona. A lot of issues going on with Green Bay and COVID. We're going to get more information as we get closer to kickoff. Yes, the Lightning was very easy. I wish I started the day with that easy -1 at plus 117. I should have gone to the puck line. I'm really second guessing, not just hammering puck lines. But I'm going to stick to this plan that I was going to abandon in the offseason. I decided to stick with it. Very, very disappointing. A Real Deal Prime says, shame on Chicago bringing the Flower in to expose him to this. He's made the playoffs in every team he's been on. This is not the plan, obviously, to finish off his career like this. There's DJ Big Boss in the house. Cindy plays horses. Slatsy says, brutal 0-5 night in the NHL on the bad run. I think we'll only follow Skee for a while. Great job in NBA. NHL, is anybody not on the Leafs? Yeah, it's nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking. Here's Dan Kelly. Says, one reason I love betting live, Malone didn't want Jokic to play the second half yesterday. The Nugs ran out of gas in the fourth on the back-to-back. The dynamic of the game changed. You have to be watching to take advantage. Trey Franklin, I was watching that game because I was cheering on Skee for that. I was going back and forth in the intermission going to the third for the Canucks Wild. I was on that basketball game cheering Skee on. Cheering him on. All right. Sammy Calmer ready to go. Real Deal Prime says Vancouver for me. Jacksonville Zoe in the house. Jacksonville Zoe coming off an excellent debut on our NFL Pub Hub show going 3-1. Morgan Spooner says can't catch a live show but found this money. Hope we all cash. Morgan Spooner, thank you for joining us. Harrison Barnes over 2.5 threes at plus 155. 15-27 from 3 in these games. Coach has challenged him to shoot more. Let's copy and paste that as well. All right, we got a ton of work to do. Harrison Barnes. Get that in. That's in the sack game. I'll pull this up. Sack Phoenix Suns. Copied and pasted. Thank you, Morgan. There's Birdie in the house. We have a lot of work to do. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Christopher Comentini. Sweaty Butcher says 0-2 for prime cuts to start the NBA season. I'm sorry, I will do better. We believe in you. And it's just, we're 2 games in. We're 2 games in. Cindy plays horses. Says, sorry, the horse I gave out ran third. But that show paid out with $11. You're seeing things so well. On the dirt, synthetic, or turf. We believe in you, Cindy. We believe in you. Okay, we got to get to work. So thank you guys. Johnny K in the house. Who's Knock says, thanks to the NBA crew for the Thunder team total under last night. You guys are the best. We love you, Who's Knock. Thank you so much for the dono, thinking about us. Dav Fenn ready to go. Let's do exactly that. Christopher Comentini says Blackhawks toxic. There's Jimmy Gomez in the house. We've missed you, Jimmy. Guillermo Zertucci with a horseplay. Another thing, because I'm multitasking when I'm hosting the show, if if a horseplay comes in, because I missed Cindy's horseplay yesterday, and if a horseplay comes in and I haven't said it out loud, then I've missed it, because I will always say a horseplay out loud. Because I'm so knee deep in all these sports, capping wise, I don't get enough time to cap horses, and I still like a little bit of horse action, so my heart will beat through my chest at some point during the day. So Guillermo Zertucci's on Keeneland, 7th race, the three flamingos at 8-1. Thank you for sharing that. Brady says we are head-to-head on the Panthers. I like the Bruins here. Yolmark is playing really well. I like the Bruins in the spot with him and net. I like Yolmark too, but I think that this Bruins team is not as good as they were last year. And, no Krejci, and they have no Craig Smith. He's hurt. They have no Nick Foligno. He's hurt. Curtis Lazar may come back today. If this fucking sex assault case wasn't hanging over Joel Quenneville, I'd be really confident in it. But I don't know. I don't know really how it's going to bang out for Joel. And I can understand someone backing the Bruins. If it wasn't hanging over his head, I would expect the Panthers to want to send a message to a fellow Atlantic Division rival to go 7-0 to start the year and want this win very badly. With the sex assault case hanging over it, I can't be that confident. But it's the only spot where I haven't beaten the market very badly. Brian Watson also whirling with me. Jalen Green under 13.5 cash. What a great play, Lit Picks. So smart. It's such a smart angle. You fade a player prop under after a season high. It was great. Very, very, very smart. And Dan Kelly says that his spreadsheets are going back to the 18th century when George Washington was starting for the Bullets. From Dan Kelly right there. Okay, I wish I could say what up to all of you guys because you all deserve it. You guys make this show so special, but we got to get to work. We got to get to work right now. Let's get after it right now. We're going to start with MLB World Series Game 2, and we are going to bring on our producer, star of the Say Hey play of the day. Please welcome to the show, Jose Bouquet. Jose, how are you?
I'm doing well, Jimmy. Thanks for bringing me on, as always. Exciting game last night. Kind of went according to plan, honestly, for me, but a fun game nonetheless, and excited to talk about another one.
Yes, let's get right after it right now. World Series Game 2, Braves, Houston Astros. We're at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Let's start with Max Fried. Both of these pitchers had very strong regular seasons, and both of these one pitcher, Jose Urquidy's been hidden by Dusty Baker. And the other pitcher, Max Fried, started his postseason out very well this year. And then Game 5 at the Dodgers, 4 2/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and an 11-2 loss. Great season. 14-7, 3.04 ERA, 1.09 WHIP. Postseason career, 7 starts, 1-2, 4.92 ERA, 1.35 WHIP. 47 Ks and 46 innings with 12 walks. In the 2021 postseason, he started 3 games, and because of the being touched by the Dodgers, he now has a 3.78 ERA, 1.26 WHIP in this year's postseason. Going up against Urquidy, had a great regular season, 8-3, 3.62 ERA, 0.99 WHIP. His postseason career is very bad, but that's because of what happened to him in Game 3 at Boston. That's his only time we've seen him in the playoffs. It's crazy to me. 1 2/3, 5 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 1 K, and 12-3 loss. And then they bring him out in Game 2 of the World Series. So let's start with these starting pitchers before we go into what the bats have been doing in the playoffs and the bullpens and even the cash in the market. Let's start with these 2 starting pitchers. What are your expectations of Max Fried and then Jose Urquidy?
So he's been hidden for a reason. Something's wrong with him. He's not been pitching very well. He's supposed to be their number 3. Honestly, he's supposed to be their number 4, but McCullers is out, and I don't think he's going to pitch very long. Dusty has had him hidden for a reason. I think he'll obviously have a short leash, and they used that bullpen up a lot last night. Jake Odorizzi really saved their ass, giving them some length, but I don't think Jose Urquidy is going to have the best start today. I think he's hidden for a reason. Now, Jim, you'll hear this and everyone in the chat will be like, oh, you biased fuck. But Luis Garcia, when he pitched Game 6 against the Red Sox, magically he started throwing harder than he ever has in his career, and his RPMs All of his pitches were up 200 RPMs, just magically. Who knows why? What he could have done to do that. I personally know that there's no mechanical switch that you can do to add 200 RPMs to your fastball or whatever your other pitches are. So that's just interesting facts there, Jim. So I don't think Jose Urquidy is going to have a great start today. And if I'm going to be put my cards on the table, I've got the Braves in 6 in this series. I think the Braves have the better pitching staff. They've got the better offense right now because all their bats are humming right along. And I think bullpens can be a wash, but when you've got a starting staff that goes 5, 6, 7 innings, it really takes out that pressure you have on your bullpen. So I've got Braves in 6 tonight. I think the Braves come out early and score early on Jose Urquidy. Now, this could be one of those games like in Game 2 in Boston or Houston, or I think it was Game 1, where Atlanta leads the whole time and Houston comes back late. So I wouldn't take the full game money line yet. I did last night with the Braves, but I would just look at first 5 team totals for them, first 5, and see what they do, because they're a hot squad. And Jimmy, I know you've been making a lot of money, and yes, run first inning too. You've bet it the last couple of times, and I'm on the opposite because I love no run first inning. But it's been hitting a lot, and I wouldn't hate that look here too.
I don't hate it at all. It's just that it's minus 130 for me, and I just feel like that's just a little bit too much juice. There's Maxwell Smart. 13 days till college basketball. 13 days till college basketball for Maxwell Smart. Noli Knows says, I think Urquidy pitches well. Houston first 5 money line for Noli Knows. Houston first 5 money line. I think that, okay, well, talk about Max Fried. What did you see in Game 5 against the Dodgers when he got touched? Do you trust him in the start?
I do, actually. He's a big game pitcher. And, let's just be honest. You can't be perfect all the time. Dodgers are a great squad. I mean, even backs against the wall, he was pitching in an elimination game. I just think that he'll have a pretty good start, and maybe not a perfect game, not a Framber Valdez alert, but I think he has a good start. And it's just curious to me why Urquidy's been hidden this whole time. What's Dusty hiding him for? Because he has not been pitching particularly great in this postseason, not against the Red Sox, and not even using him out of the pan. And I think it's been kind of a while since that Game 6 for Luis Garcia. I'm pretty surprised he didn't end up starting this game. He'll obviously pitch Game 3 in Atlanta, but I think that Urquidy, it gets a little touch. I think Max Fried. If I had a free bet, Jim, I know you love to do this. If I had a free bet on the side, it would be the Braves even money, because I don't want to lay that. Let me double check the price again. Yeah, minus 120 full game. I wouldn't want to lay that. I wouldn't feel comfortable yet. The Houston offense has been kind of sad. Even against the Red Sox, it wasn't great. They had some misleading scores at the end of ball games, and the Red Sox kind of they gave up the lead, and they're like, all right, well, fuck, we lost this game already. So they'll throw up slapdick Martin Perez to get hit. I don't think that the Astros offense has been nearly as good as everyone thinks it has this postseason. So I really think the Braves are on that team of destiny shit, and it's crazy to think that they might take the first 2 games at Houston. Thinking about that preseason and pre-series is just crazy. But I think I'm going to take the Braves first 5 in some sense. I know the first 5 straight up or plus a half is minus 150, so I can't do that. So I'll probably look at first 5 team totals perhaps, and maybe full game 2 team totals for the Astros too. If you're an Astros backer, give yourself more time. I see on the chat that people are talking about how the Astros hit lefties hard. So
yeah, 305 with an 838 OPS in the playoffs.
Yeah, so if you think the Astros are going to win this game, I wouldn't lay the full game money line. I would look towards a first 5 team total or a team total in general. You can get 4.5 at plus 110, or you can get a 4 at minus 125. So I just think you can open yourself up for that and give yourself more of a chance.
Seamus says baseball prices have virtually no edge at this stage. Money's in the regular season. Don't bet on this. But if you have to, don't lay juice. Let's focus on NBA, I say. Braves versus right-handed pitching, says Noli knows, 228. I have 225 with a 646 OPS versus righties in the playoffs. Both bullpens have been so good in these playoffs. Both lineups haven't seen the opposite pitcher. I'm not comfortable. This might be my last spot here where I attack the playoffs. I've been so hesitant for some reason. I don't know why, especially after last year when Noli and I crushed the playoffs. So I am on the first 5 over 4.5 at -115, but I'm not coming from a place of any kind of confidence. Let's take a look at what the market is offering us here.
I like that look, Jim, by the way. I like the first 5 over 4.5 a lot.
Yeah, I do too. The reason why I'm just like negative about it was because I wanted to bet it yesterday, and I didn't. And now whenever I do this, when I don't make a bet one day and then go back to it in a series,
Chasing,
my ROI is just horrible. Houston opens up at -109. They're now -115. A 6-cent move towards them. That's full game. This total opened up at 8.5 as a slightly juiced to the over. There's been a 13-cent move to the over at Pinnacle, but it's still at 8.5. Will Hill has the -125, by the way. And then the tickets here in this spot, we're sitting with 4,186 tickets in. We have 61% of the tickets on Houston, 55% of the cash on Houston. So 39 and 45 for Atlanta. So bigger bets coming in on Atlanta. And then this is what made me uncomfortable about the total. And I said it on the show yesterday. I said that if you want to attack, and I even posed it as a question to Loshak, I was like, if you want to attack this total, then you want to attack the first 5, not the full game. Both bullpens are pitching quite well and haven't seen the opposition. You know, that's something that we usually get in the World Series where the bullpen hasn't seen the opposition. And so here we have 34% of tickets on the under, but we have 96% of cash on the under. Sharp bets coming in on the under. And I'm just nervous about this. I don't feel very comfortable at all.
I have a question for you real fast.
Yeah.
We talked about the first 5 over 4.5. Would it make sense if you just take both team total over for the first 5s, take them both over 2.5? You can get right now on BetDog, Bodog, you can get Braves +125 for 2.5 and Astros +115 for 2.5. You know, I don't know what my math is there, but maybe you bet both. You get one, and you can cover your ass for the 4.5. And if both hits, then you're feeling good. You know, the more we talk about this, the Astros hitting lefties hard, it makes me feel better and better about the first 5 over and team totals for both squad. I officially will be betting the first 5 team total or first 5 over with you, Jim, 4.5. I'll make that a say hey I play to make you feel even better about it too.
That does make me feel better. Will you give me the number that you can get?
Yeah, I'll look right now at our friends at
5
Bulldog.
over.
It's at -120 if you're 4.5.
-120. Okay, well, that's not a bad sign. I did get -115. So market moving towards the first 4.5 over. Matty Ice says huge pitching edge for the Braves. Andrew and Rosa Lilio Jameson says, I've been a big fan, my bro. You're the best. Aloha from Hawaii. Thank you so much for sharing that. Puts a big smile on my face. So thank you for rolling with us. We got Hawaii in the house, waking up early to roll with us. Okay. And like its importance as shoot, I bet the under 4.5. I wouldn't be concerned. I wouldn't be concerned about the being on the under first 5 under 4.5. I don't feel very confident here myself. Matty Ice is on the Braves team total over. Matty Ice on the Braves team total over. And Kevin Pine, thank you for the kind words, my man. Great to see Kevin Pine back in action. Savannah Gill, Dusty Baker 0-4 in the World Series. And Noli knows going to move on that first 5 under 4.5. Well, there you have it. There is the World Series Game 2. We are going to move on to NBA and NHL. We have Trot Wam joining us any minute. We'll just take a couple more things here. Noli knows says 1 bad pitch. That was the first home run he'd given up against the left-handed batter all season. And there you have it. All right. So
you scared me, Jim. I'm not gonna lie. I had a mini freak out just now. Like, did I send Wham the invite? But I did, yeah. So Wham will be here soon, hopefully. But Jim, by the way, I would like to give you some home run props real fast.
Yes.
I think Houston, in general, that little ship box of a stadium is so conducive to those line drive home runs. Soler did it immediately last night, and I would not be surprised if we see the same stuff again. I just want to let you know, I need some Austin Riley in my life here. Austin Riley has been hot as hell. I think he gets a bomb today. Has a good game, plus 300. So not the best odds there. Two with some good odds before I leave you here. I would go with Jose Altuve, plus 450. He weighed 0 for last game. He's the straw that stirs that drink there. He gets him going. And my deep cut, I guess you could say, would be Travis d'Arnaud, plus 500. He actually has seen Urquidy one at bat. Didn't do anything in that one at bat, but he has that familiarity. He has seen the pitcher before, which is important for batters. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on those three guys to get a home run and roll on, and hopefully we can get an early casher with like we did with Big George.
I love it, Jose. Thank you so much for joining us here. The Say Hey play of the day is in. It's the first 5 over 4.5. And we're closing today's show with the movie review. We're trying to make Jose a better man, a more complete man. So we got him to watch the movie Slapshot. We will close the show with a Jose Bouquet movie review. Jose, thank you so much for joining us, my man. I will see you backstage. I'll be watching you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. By the way, I just want to give you a little taste before we get into Slapshot. I think my favorite quote of the movie is easily skating around. Suzanne sucks pussy.
Yeah, it is a nice touch. It's a nice touch. We have Skee Profit in the house. Speak of NBA, and Skee Profit appears fresh off a 5-0 day. Made a bet on every game and cashed them all. Sweaty Butcher says Dansby B. Swanson's been hitting the ball hard, but coming up a few feet short might be worth a look. And Sabino Anguano, who has given us many cashers in his day on the show, says, I have a soccer lock, bro. FC Barcelona minus 115. Money line versus Rayo Vallecano today. And says it's a lock, bro. Easy money. La Liga, Spanish soccer from our Sabino Anguano. Black Thor King in the house. Dutchy giving our guy Skee Profit love. Dutchy. Oh, shit. Sorry. That was my apologies for freaking you guys out there. That was my foot. I get excited when someone goes 5-0. I freak out. My legs are freaking out. We got Trot Wam here on the show today, and then Dutch Boy Fresh on the show tomorrow. So if you're looking for the sharpest in NBA capping, you can join us here. You can also join the best NBA show in the business, NBA Pub Hub at 4 p.m. Eastern, when they're all together. And Noli Knows did not move on the first 5 under. Did not move on the first 5 under. Okay, that makes me feel much better. Just Durrell in the house says Skee did the damn thing. Dan Kelly says Skee, let's not sell our next guest short. Coming off a 3-1 2.4 unit day, the pride of Long Beach, California. Please welcome to the show Wham Bam in the house. Wham, what's happening, man?
What's up, man? Yeah, it's hard to follow up Skee, bro, but I'm trying to get to it as well, man. I ain't mad at him, bro. Shout out to my guy. He definitely put some money in my pocket. Definitely. I had a positive day thanks to him, so I appreciate my guy, of course. So, yeah, let's get it done, man. You already know, man. I love hanging out with you, bro.
I love hanging out with you, Wham Bam. Let's get right to work. I'm just so thankful, to cap with you guys as colleagues, but also to be friends. Just bring a ton of joy to my life, my man. All right, let's get to work. 7 p.m. Eastern. We start with the Charlotte Hornets, 3-1, 2-0 on the road at the Orlando Magic, 1-3, 0-1 at home. We're at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. Charlotte opening up as 6-point favorites. That's moved to 5.5. This total's gone from 217 to 219.5 or 220. When we go to the cash flow in this game, we have 6,203 tickets in. On the spread, 78% of the tickets on Charlotte, 80% of the cash on Charlotte, and yet we have a half-point move towards the Orlando Magic. The total is a coin flip. You got 53% of the tickets on the under, 50% of the cash on the under. So questions abound there. I'm going to set this up for you and then let Wham Bam take it away. Charlotte comes in off their first loss of the season, 140-129 at home to the Celtics on Monday night. They open with a 3-0 start for the first time in franchise history. Eastern Conference Player of the Week, Miles Bridges, 25-10. He scored 30 against Cleveland, 32 against Brooklyn, joining Kemba as the only players in Charlotte history with multiple 30-point games in their first 3 games of the season. LaMelo hit 7 of Charlotte's 19 threes, went 25-9. And the Hornets had been looking to complete a back-to-back sweep that included the 111-95 win at home at Brooklyn on Sunday. Rozier, PJ Washington sidelined by injuries. Rozier is doubtful, and Washington is out. After losing their home opener to New York by 25 points, the Magic went up to Madison Square Garden and beat the Knicks 110-104, and Cole Anthony was a monster. First double-double as a pro, 29 and 16 and 8. Terrence Ross scored all 22 points of his fourth quarter. It marked an Orlando record, and I did find out who had the previous record. Old Brooks Thompson, superstar Brooks Thompson from 1996. They're coming off a 107-90 loss at Miami on Monday. Franz Wagner, 15 points, scored in double figures for the 4th straight game, but the Magic had 18 turnovers. When they play sloppy, they lose. They had 19 turnovers in that home opening loss to the Knicks. Okeke, Etwan Moore, Jonathan Isaac, Markelle Fultz, Michael Carter-Williams, all out of the lineup for the Magic. Here we go. First game on the board for Wham Bam. Hornets Magic, take it away.
Yes, sir. I like this Orlando Magic team before the season. Man, I don't think I like them anymore. They obviously need a Chuma Okeke. He's a good defensive player for the perimeter for this team. I love this Hornets team, though, man. I was actually high on them coming into this season. Thought they were going to be a playoff team. They showing up, showing out. Miles Bridges, man, I don't think they can make his points total higher, man. It's at 19.5. That seems like the easiest play here, in my opinion. I think in this game, you got to go ahead and just take the lay it on the road with the Hornets. They're the better team. They're playing a lot better. I wouldn't take the LaMelo over 3 prop, even though it's 2.5 juiced at -140, -138. I wouldn't do it, but, man, it seems like that's cash in every game. His shot looks, way better than it did last year. I just think of this Hornets team as a team that's going to continue to get better because they haven't been getting that much production from Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward, his last 2 games, he hasn't really been doing too much. As far as that game with the Celtics were kind of due, but again, even the Celtics were allowing them to, go out up front in that game. They just were able to bring it back together towards the end to pull it out the win. So I think this Hornets team is legit. They should be able to take care and not play with their food in this game. I think they take care of business, cover the 5.5. But I think the best play here is Miles Bridges. Go back to the well with the Eastern Conference Player of the Week, man. Just guys has been killing, hitting all his shots, getting his open looks. The way they force feeding AD is the same way they force feed Miles Bridges. So I think that's a good look there. 19.5 over for Miles Bridges. That's probably the play I'll make on this game.
Did you want to make that look Miles Bridges official?
At this point, yes. Let's lock that in.
Miles Bridges. What did you get for Miles Bridges and what book?
I got that at -105 at Bovada. Let me confirm, see what it is right now. It is, let me see. I was looking on FanDuel. -108 right now at Bovada. But okay. I think you may be able to get better at FanDuel. I know some of our viewers said they have options on that one. So let me double check.
Yeah,
you may be able to get better on. Yeah, it's still the same. It's a -108 at FanDuel as well.
-108 at FanDuel. Okay, I got FanDuel up as well. All right, there you have it. Nufflash says, Jimmy, proud father moment you can look forward to. Caden left his lunch money on the counter when I text, why is your money here? His response was, can you please put it on a run in the first inning tonight? Oh, that's so cool.
I left it for you, Dad.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, man, I love that.
Man, Katie's so big, too, bro. Shout out to Nush and the family, the Nutflesh family, man.
Oh, man,
beautiful
that's
seeing
wonderful.
You guys grow like that, man. It's a blessing.
I love the run in the first inning, but it's -130 where I shop, and I just don't want a minus 130 on my mind.
You hit the hammer right there on the head, bro. Because I was doing pretty good with the no runs first inning. Tried to dabble with in the pro season, man. I'm like, I'm just gonna keep my record clean right now. I'm just leave it alone, bro.
Yeah. Well, this is where you guys make your cash. So I can totally understand if you want to just put all the eggs in the NBA basket. It just makes a ton of sense to me. So over 19.5 for Bridges minus 108. Topset says, are you doing a Breeders' Cup preview show? No, I'm not doing a Breeders' Cup preview show, but I'll be live all Breeders' Cup, Friday and Saturday live, all Breeders' Cup here on Pub Sports Radio. So don't worry. But no preview show. There may be some with Razor Sharp picks, so I'll talk to Razor and see if he'll do, especially on that Wednesday night. I would love to do it on the Wednesday night on Razor's show before, not a week today. But I'll talk to Razor about that. Okay, so we move on. I'll tell you what, I'm a little nervous that the market's not moving towards Charlotte. I'm a little nervous, and likely going to keep me off at this point.
Yeah,
let's move on to the next spot. Well, actually, before I do that, and when we already have Wizards Celtics up, and thank you for doing that. Why are you not? But what is your fear about betting the Hornets? Why did you not make that official pick?
I honestly believe that the Hornets could be kind of in the flat spot here. You know what I mean? They could be possibly, not saying look ahead here. I don't really know who they're playing next, but it's the Orlando Magic, man. You know what I mean? A lot of teams don't come to Orlando with their best A game as much, but I do believe that they don't take this as a likely matchup. I think they will come out here and cover this game. It's just, do I want to lay money on this game? I really rather just kick my feet up thinking that Miles Bridges is going to get his due. You know what I mean? I think he's going to continue to play well. So I think that's the easier play. That's what I would say. So if I had a free play on the side, for sure, I'm hammering the Hornets with a free play.
I get it. I absolutely get it. Henry Dice says Magic will cover. Johnny K says could be a flat spot. Sweaty Butcher said, I asked Skee why he never turns the lights off in his house. He said money don't sleep.
That's
and
right.
By the way, Nutflush Allen asked his son, what the hell are you going to eat for lunch? His response was, I took some of your rock stars and I can get $2 each for them. Okay, next up for us, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Washington Wizards 2-1, 1-1 on the road at Boston Celtics 2-2, 0-1 at home. We're at TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Celtics coming off their second straight road win, 140-129 at Charlotte on Monday. Oh, sorry, let's get this off the screen. I apologize. From a market standpoint, we have Boston opening up as 4-point favorites. They're now 4.5-point favorites. This total's dropped 2 points from 226.5 down to 224.5. We have 79% of the tickets on the Celtics -4 and 93% of the cash on the Celtics. Then we have 49% of the tickets on the over and 72% of cash on the over, but it's dropped 2 points. Mixed messages there. Tatum scored a game-high 41 points and 8 assists. So this is the biggest key to me, is that the last time we saw them at TD Garden, they suffered their worst home loss since 2007, 115-83 loss to the Raptors. Jaylen Brown missed Sunday's game, the 107-97 win at Houston, but he had 30 points in the win at Charlotte. The Celtics were missing Al Horford and reserve Romeo Langford. Horford sat out with a left adductor strain. Langford left calf tightness, and Horford is listed as probable, and Langford is listed as questionable. Wizards are coming off their first loss of the season, 104-90 at Brooklyn on Monday night. They were happy to get Beal back after he missed Washington's 135-134 overtime win over the Pacers on Saturday night due to right hip contusion. Led the team with 19 points, but he did not look good. 8 for 22 shooting, 3 for 13 from 3-point range. The Wizards starters were 23 of 65 from the floor. They shot 34.7%. Thomas Bryant, Anthony Gill, Cassius Winston all out. Rui Hachimura remains away from the team. Here we go. Wham Bam, Wizards, Celtics, take it away.
Man, this game right here is so fucking annoying to me because I continue to bet the Boston Celtics in these type of spots, and I would expect them to come out here and cover. They have the better team. Al Horford is in the lineup. I would think they would come out here and handle business, but I've already lost 2 plays this year so far with the Boston every time I bet them. And then the last game, I wanted to take the Bradley Beal with Bradley Beal coming back with the Wizards, and of course they come out getting fucking smoked. So it kind of gets me a little bit scared here. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I don't really have too much for this game, to be honest with you. Only thing I would say is that this should be a Boston spot, though, man. They should really much take care of business here. It's just, do I trust these guys to do it, man? At first, I thought these guys were, were or should be allowed a lot more free without having the restraints of Kyrie or Kemba. But it seemed like they're running around with a substitute in their class and shit with the new coach. Like, it just seemed like they're just out here doing what the fuck ever they wanted to do. So it's kind of tough to back this Celtics team, I think, early on. I probably wouldn't be laying the 4.5. But if I would, I probably would be going that direction. It's just, I don't really know what to make of this Celtics team, to be honest with you. It's just one of those things. And honestly, I could see the Wizards covering. I did back them against the Brooklyn Nets. Why wouldn't I back them against the Celtics? That could be my point of reasoning there, but I just don't think that the Wizards probably are going to be the better team here. And of course, the day I freaking pick up the ticket with the Wizards, no Kuzma, no Caldwell Pope, none of the guys that I know and shit do anything. So fuck them, man. I ain't touching this game.
From a psychological standpoint, just Daryl says Boston, his number is Boston -2. Don't the Celtics want to step up after completely embarrassing themselves at home in front of their fans when we've gone through 2 years since we had full buildings for early regular season games? I feel like psychologically, do you expect a home bounce back after the Raptors destroyed them?
That's my first initial thing. Like, well, they should be able to. Honestly, I thought when I looked at this game last night, I was like, man, they should steamroll the Wizards. And I thought about it like, didn't I just bet the Wizards? And I tried to throw that loss out the window because it was just a loss from first quarter. It was over at that point. So sometimes when those games happen with the NBA, the guys just like, pack it up. They're all right, we're on to the next. So this could be that on to the next game for the Wizards as well. I don't trust the Celtics, bro. Maybe it's the first year coach. Maybe it's, the guys haven't really been able to gel as much. Dennis Schroeder has seemed to be working around a little bit better. He has been playing a little bit better. I do like to see that, but it's just tough, man. Hopefully we could get a game where Tatum and Brown has a great game, because it seems like they're having on and off games, even though, that's kind of like their offense. You get a turn, I get a turn. It's kind of been like that for the Celtics, but I could see both of them having a great game here. It's just that I'm probably not going to bet it here, but I would definitely say the biggest lean here is the side with Boston 4.5.
I mean, is it because you can't trust them for 48 minutes under Udoka? If Boston is coming off of that tough overtime game on Monday in Charlotte, is that playing a role in it? Like
I'm biased, bro. Yeah, I'm just biased. I lost already twice with them already this year. It's just like, and then I lost with the Wizards too. It just tells me like, you can find some other value later on. And honestly, I think the next game we're talking about, I got action on. So it just makes me like, nah, I don't even want to force it on this game.
Well, I think that the Celtics, after just getting destroyed, I mean, they lose by 32 points at home to the Raptors. They got to bounce back. Mike Smith says letdown spot for Boston, but I just don't. I'm going to move on Boston. Getting under 5, I think, is fine. And I don't like doing it after Beal looked so bad, but maybe the hip is bothering him early in the year. I'm going to move on Boston. I'm just not entirely sure. I'm certainly not going to double up, and I'm not entirely sure if I want to take them early or late. So I will make that decision, but I am going to move on the Boston Celtics. Let's move on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Miami Heat 2-1, 0-1 on the road at Brooklyn Nets 2-2, 1-1 at home. Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. This is going to be a fun game. Brooklyn opening up at -5, and the market moving towards the Heat. Pinnacle's already moved it to 3.5. The other books are sitting at 4. The total opening up at 219. It's now at 217.5. 5,459 tickets in. 21% of the tickets on the Nets, 35% of the cash. So still some big bets coming in on the Nets. Public on the Heat. 65% of the tickets on the over, 61% of the cash on the over. Nets bounce back from an ugly 111-95 home loss to Charlotte. I mean, they were in complete control. Outscored 61-37 in the second half. by beating the Wizards 104-90 at home Monday on the second half of a back-to-back. They put up 38 points in the first quarter and held the Wizards to just 34.7% from the field. They had allowed 45.7, at least 45.7% in the first 3 games. So we have this Brooklyn team in the third game in 4 nights. Durant scored 25 points. He's averaging 31. Patty Mills, 21 points. He's hitting 16 of 25 from 3. Miami comes in with very strong defense, allowing 95.7 points per game, allowing 39.3% shooting. Both of those stats rank second. The Heat have yet to allow opponents to score more than 102 points and shoot higher than 40.7%. Impressive. They've held their first 3 opponents under 30% from 3-point range. In Saturday's 102-91 overtime loss in Indiana, Heat shot 38.5%. On Monday, they shot 47.1% in the 107-90 home win over Orlando. Impressive. Butler averaging 25.3 points on 52.8% shooting, coming off 36 points on 15 and 21 shooting on Monday. Bam averaging 17.7, 14 boards, has 3 double-doubles. Hero was held to 13 points on Monday, but he's looked good. He's bounced back from an off year, averaging 23.3 points so far after averaging 15.1 last season. What an exciting spot this is, Wham. Take it away, Heat Nets.
Yeah, I got on this at the opener. I got the Heat at +5. I think the Heat is just going to come in with intensity, man. They're going to come in here, try to make everything be hard, greedy. We know how PJ Tucker guards Durant. He's not going to stop him, but those fouls will be activated. He will be making those, pushing off and just trying to stir up Durant's pot. You know what I mean? That's how I feel like this is going to happen. But as far as the Brooklyn Nets, then we can always talk about how James Harden has been looking. It's starting to seem like he's getting back into a groove of things, in my opinion. Just not getting those shots, though. You know what I mean? Just not getting those calls, not getting those type of looks. The guy that I think of most is the guy you talked about, Patty Mills. Patty Mills has been pretty much phenomenal in this role that he's been playing. Obviously, we'll take a backseat if Kyrie ever makes it way back here. But at this point, he's the guy. He's the guy that you got to be on the lookout for, that is either going to push this game over the total. Push this game over for them to cover the spread at 4, or be kind of their demise if he just has a mediocre game. I think he's going to have a mediocre game here. I think the Heat will have the better bench in this game, and also they're obviously going to have the better defense. It's just about the Brooklyn Nets role players. A lot of that has to do with Aldridge. I believe he in the lineup. I thought he was considered out for this game, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't pull that up there. My apologies there but for the most part, I like the Heat here. I just think the Heat is just going to be the better team here. They should be able to cover this 5 that I got. I think they covered a 4.5, 3.5, whatever you could get out there. I do believe that's the play here. They most likely will win this game. I may sprinkle the money line here, may not, because I got a pretty good position with the 5. I might not do that, but for the most part, I think the Heat is the play here. Just think they're going to have better role players. They're going to make their shots, and their defense intensity will allow them to cover the spread.
Ray Charles is on KD over 7.5 rebounds, says he's Brooklyn's best rebounder. Does it concern you at all that everybody in our chat is on the Heat? I don't see anybody saying the Nets will dig in. Does that make you nervous?
No, you know what, though? I ain't gonna lie. Definitely don't like to hear that, but for the most part, though, I think this could be one of those games that, I mean, sometimes you know how it is in the NBA, bro. If it seems too easy, it damn sure is too easy. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be this way of looking here, but this gives me a gambler's first glance vibe here. I'm just hoping Razor's on it, honestly. You know what I mean? He's the guy that I want to let Razor be on this too, though. But no, for the most part, though, I'm not really that concerned. I just try to make the best I think that's going to win. So I think this is the one that's going to cash through.
So do you want to make Heat +4?
Yeah, I'll make that official. That's already. I already got the 5 in my pocket right now. So what's another point, man?
Wham. Yeah, I get it. I get it. And I'd like to jump on. TransCanada is on the Nets. Dutch Boy Fresh says, can't lie, Jim. I'm feeling the Nets. Okay, I
see that. I see a lot of people. I see Dutch as well. Say, can't lie, Jim. I'm feeling the Nets.
See, is this a spot where Brooklyn needs to send a message? Not the Heat?
I think it's kind of even. I think it's more of an even thing here, because both of these teams are in contention. Both of these teams are going to be well coached here. So I think the teams are going to be ready. Kyle Lowry should be in this lineup here, playing. And I just like where Tyler Hero is bringing it. And I even love the fact that he didn't have that great of a game last game. You know what I mean? I think that gives me another indication. Maybe I need to be looking at his props too. But, yeah, man, if I was to lean anything on Brooklyn's side, though, it's just going to be KD over points. That'll be the only way I look towards Brooklyn.
I like it. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on it. Wham on the board again. Oh, he's already on the board with Bridges prop, but Wham +4 for the Heat. Let's roll on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Indiana Pacers 1-3, 0-2 on the road at Toronto Raptors 1-3, 0-3 at home. We're at Scotiabank Arena, Toronto, Ontario. Both teams come in having lost 3 of 4. We have Toronto opening up as 1-point dogs. That's where it stands right now. Hasn't changed, but there has been a 6-cent move towards Toronto, so maybe it turns into a pick 'em. This total is dropping fast, 219.5 down to 215 or 215.5. Raptors coming off their third straight home loss to start the season, 111-108 to the Bulls. OG led Toronto with 22 points. Gary Trent Jr. had 18. Van Vliet 15 and 17 assists. That's a career best 17. Also had 8 turnovers, though. 8 turnovers. That's something we're not used to. One of the things that you can say, arguably, about Van Vliet is he's able to dribble to any position on the floor. And that's a huge ability. And something that Kyle Lowry really arguably couldn't do. And I know that this is could be debatable, but Van Vliet with 8 turnovers is very strange. Raptors had 21 turnovers in the game, led to 27 points for Chicago. So we have no Pascal Siakam, still dealing with that surgery on his left shoulder to repair the torn labrum. And Utah Watanabe is going to be playing in the 905s. I will be watching him. I'm going to be going to 905 games this year with Ella. We're pumped. Pacers followed up their season 102-91 home win. Followed up their 102-91 home win over Miami Saturday night with a 119-109 home loss to the Bucks on Monday night. Brogdon led the Pacers with 25 and 7 assists. Domantas Sabonis 21 and 13 and 5. Karis LeVert is listed as questionable for tonight's game. Take it away, Wham Bam, Pacers Raptors.
That last remark there, Karis LeVert being questionable. That's the big question mark for me in this game. Probably won't make a play until I see what his status is towards tip-off. But I'm leaning here again. Maybe there's another team I done lost money with before, but I'm leaning again with the Pacers here. I just think that they have the better team. But, oh, man, the Raptors have proved me wrong for sure. Definitely have a lot better. I always thought this year either could go 2 different ways. Either they're going to be in a play-in, low contention in the East, or they're going to be in a lottery looking for draft picks. That's kind of how I visioned the Raptors here. They actually seem like they're a lot better than what I predicted. So I would kind of I want to stay away from fading them in spots like this, because I just think that the Raptors, even though they lost their home opener, I just think that the mojo is definitely just got to get a groove. And then we already see that some of these players, they kind of got to get used to the fans being back at these type of capacity as well. So I think the Raptors will figure that out. The 6 will arise for these guys, I believe. In this game, though, with Karis LeVert possibly coming back, I just want to stay away from it. We did catch the Chris Duarte prop last time when we had the Pacers there. I might be going back to the well with it if he's out. You know what I mean? If Karis LeVert is out, but with Karis LeVert in, we're going to have to wait and see what's going on there. With him, I believe he was in the 3rd of the usage rate from 3, Chris Duarte, and along with 4th of the usage rate without Karis LeVert in the lineup. So with them in the lineup, he should probably be like 5th or 6th or some shit probably. He'll take a step down there. So I honestly want to stay away from this game just based off of the Karis LeVert news and just my read on the Raptors, man. I've just been having a bad read. I'm leaning towards more like you guys, like more like Babeno and you. Like you guys know a little bit more about, the ins and outs there about this team. I would just kind of like take you guys' word for it. Will you think that the Raptors are going to pick up the pieces here and be able to pull off this game, or you think this could be, a better team and the Pacers just being able to take control of it? I think the Pacers could take control of it, but it's just tough for me to be able to back the Pacers at this point.
I think that part of the reason why Van Vliet had 8 turnovers is because he's trying to force offense from a Raptors team that might have serious scoring problems without Pascal Siakam in the lineup. This team is tricky right now, and I don't have a good read on them, and I'm watching and trying to pick one up. Vital says, Jimmy, look at Pacers' third quarter. They've lost every third quarter. Why do you think that is? Coaching adjustments? I think that you can say that Carlisle isn't fully comfortable with this roster after being in Dallas for, 13 years? 12 years?
Pushed out by Luka and shit.
But I think the sample size is too small for us to, get caught up in that as well. I don't think that we should get too caught up in that. Dennis Garcia says they can beat Indiana Wham if the game stays under. Raps aren't winning a shootout. And this line predictor has 91% confidence that the Raptors will go to a half or a pick 'em. So money coming in on the Raptors. 42% of the tickets are on the Raptors, but 55% of the cash. And then 46% of the tickets and 99% of cash on the over, which is very confusing because, this has dropped 4 points.
Even if Karras was back, man, that might throw them off too, man. You know what I'm saying? I remember that's the spot that you like to look at when the star. Well, he could be considered the star here, but a guy coming back with all that type of usage rate, tends to fuck up this chemistry here. Defense is definitely better on the Raptors side, but it's tough, bro. It's a tough game.
Yeah, and Bill McDonald says total too low for a Pacers game over. That's a possibility. Yes, Danny A. Mr. Gokster will be doing NHL here on our channel. He's getting a new computer this week as well, so we're just tweaking a couple things, but you will definitely see Mr. Gokster dropping NHL here. I guess I need more time. Mally Mal says Pacers for their first road win. They're 0-2 on the road. Feels like both teams need this, right? The Pacers need to show they can win on the road. The Raptors need to show they can win at home. I'm nervous. I'm very nervous.
I really like this Pacers team too, so that's why I'm trying to take my feelings out of it, especially since I don't have a read on the Raptors. But we have time, man. We don't have to make all the plays here. We definitely will make additions. I could definitely see myself making a play on this game once we get some Karis LeVert news and something to start to clear up the smoke here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dennis Garcia said yesterday morning, loved the Spurs. Yesterday night, bet the Lakers when LeBron was announced out, and I thought the line moved too much. That was my whole plan. I said to Skee, but I was so caught up in capping for NFL with the NFL show. I was so caught up in my own bullshit that I didn't even realize that he was out until this fucking NFL show was on, and that's very, very aggravating. Okay, Leonard Porsche Jr. in the house says, the Pacers have shown me that they can only play good for 3 quarters. Carlos Lewis says Van Vliet and Dragic, Trent, terrible on D. I don't like seeing Dragic out there. Maybe he'll win me over, but I do not like seeing him out there. All right, let's move on to 8 p.m. Eastern. No moves for us in that game. Top Shelf plays in the house. Great call on Houston, although it was a clincher. Timberwolves 2-1. First road game of the year at Milwaukee Bucks. 3-1, 1-0 at home. Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Minnesota opening up as 6.5-point dogs. This total opens up at 229.5. It's now at 230 or 230.5. From a cash flow standpoint, we have 3,240 tickets in, 69% of the tickets on the Bucks, 64% of the cash. Also, 58% of the tickets on the under and 72% of cash on the under. Mally Mal says Pacers defense rated higher than the Raptors at this moment. Okay, Remos, I don't hate doing the NFL show on Tuesday night. It's stressing me out. It's just fucking stressing me out, man. That's all. Just stressing me out. And Puzzler says consistent third quarter failure might show a team struggling to follow halftime coaching adjustments. Yes, I agree with that, Puzzler, but I just think the sample size is too small and Carlisle deserves a little bit longer. The defending champs coming off back-to-back double-digit wins against the Spurs and the Pacers Saturday and Monday. Brooke Lopez missed 3 straight games because of a back injury. So they've been small ball. They've been playing small ball. But Bobby Portis, who's been dealing with the hamstring injury, is probable for Wednesday's game against the Timberwolves, which means a couple things. They're going to be bringing Portis into the cycle. And also, the rhythm is going to be a little bit messed up because Portis is not going to be in that spectacular playoff form that he was in their big run. And their small ball approach is working. Drew Holiday, DiVincenzo, and Semi Ojeleye all out of the lineup tonight. Giannis averaging 24, 10.5, and 6.5. Chris Middleton, 21.3. Pat Connaughton, 13.8. Grayson Allen, 13.3. And then we move on to Minnesota. They lose 107-98 at home to the Pelicans on Monday night. And I was wondering if it was a look-ahead spot. Timberwolves shot 34.4% from the field, 30% from three. And there was a lot of interesting remarks. I don't know if you read any of these remarks. Edwards putting all the blame on the three of them, saying we're only looking for each other. I thought that was an very interesting angle. And you're not going to see those kinds of things said by Karl Anthony Towns. And you're not going to see those things said by D'Angelo Russell. Because I don't know. I just don't know if these guys fucking care. I don't know if they care. But Minnesota's first road game is a chance for them to make a statement whether they're going to be a good team this year. And they have a lot of talent. And Anthony Edwards, 25.3 points, 8 boards, 3.7 assists. I mean, he's going to be the best player on this team. There was a time when I thought Cat was just such a hell of a basketball player. And the last few years have really soured me on him. And the taint play of the day is in. Edwards over 2.5 threes. Bucks give up 3 ball and Edwards shoots it. What is the juice associated with the taint play of the day? I'd like to pop it in, but the taint play of the day is in. Taint in with Edwards. Take it away here, Wham. Timberwolves, Bucks, because I'm leaning towards taking the Timberwolves early.
Yeah, I would think that as well. This is a spot for me that I typically would take the Bucks though, because the short number at home with the first half, it just last few years that's been a really good play. Now, I definitely would agree with Bobby Portis. May throw off the rhythm here. He did play in preseason though. His shot looked like he was in form. It did seem like he was okay, but that's been a while now. He hasn't played yet, so it could throw everything off. The Timberwolves losing last game definitely would make me want to back the Timberwolves here. I actually am high on this team. I think they are a heavily talented, really good team. As far as their bench, they have a pretty good bench as well. I do like Nas Reed, some of those guys coming off the bench, McDaniels kid as well. It's just the problem here for me is, like you said, man, you could get a fucked up ass attitude from D'Lo and Cat, and then that's pretty much the whole team there as far as like what you expect them to do as far as like production, salary, a cap, all this shit. Like they're really banking on those guys to be great. So if they're actually, slouching out there, not really missing assignments, what Anthony Edwards said, we can only play with one ball, but I mean, there's no iron team. We're only looking for 3 people. That's just too telling for me, man, to back the Timberwolves, in my opinion, especially with the pregame, the comments from Cat to start the season. Talking about how he met so many players. He's probably had the most teammates out of anybody in the NBA this year, in this season, besides LeBron and guys that's been around a long time. And then along with miss a coach that died, ownership and all these different turnaround that he's been experiencing. I could definitely see Cat possibly trying to force his way out soon if he continues to have a bad year for this Timberwolves team. I'm really high on them though. I thought they were going to be a playoff team. They played pretty well. They've been playing some bad teams though, so this is a good team today. I just cannot stop thinking about the Bucks first half here. It's a spot that I've been always liking it at these short numbers. This is a Timberwolves team that I already cashed the first half with twice. I definitely stayed away from that New Orleans Pelicans game because it just seemed like they were just going to get themselves right after playing the team, twice there, back-to-back nights like that. But this seems like this could be a Timberwolves spot. I just don't want to touch it though, because just my history, as far as my capping, Bucks first half at anything less than 3.5. Typically at home is typically a great play. They usually win by 10 points coming out that half. So I'm not gonna lie to you, Jimmy. I wouldn't be surprised if I add the Bucks first half on the ticket right now. It's not something I may bet yet, but I could see myself adding that later on. It just seems like they could steamroll this team. It could be some issues there defensively. That was their problem too. I mean, what had them good early on in the season for Timberwolves, I mean, it's still early in the season, but those first few games is their defense was great. Their defense haven't been great lately. So, if that's the problem, then this is the same team. And if they're going to have bad defense, the Bucks is going to steamroll their ass. So I'm probably going to stay away from it for right now, but I got it circled here, Bucks first half, man. I'm thinking about making that official, to be honest with you.
Well, that was a great breakdown, and it illuminated what I want to do, and it completely changed my initial plan. So I wonder if the extra pass is made in this game when it shouldn't be. And I also think that working Bobby Portis in is going to change up this rhythm that they've had with the small ball lineup. Now, how much does he play? Maybe he only plays 6 or 7 minutes in the first half, so I probably shouldn't put too much on it, but it will change things a little bit. So if the Timberwolves make the extra pass and the Bucks are not going small ball for as long because they have, and maybe I'm overthinking this, and look, I don't need anybody to run with this or not, but I also see that from the total standpoint, we have 58% of tickets on the under, 72% of cash, and it's gone up a point. And I do know that these teams can score. What I don't know is if they're going to be in rhythm in the first half. So I am going to make a first half under 117.5 bet here for me, which wasn't the plan, but I loved your breakdown, and it kind of correlates with some of the things that I think are possible here. So that is my first, or is that because I'm going to move on to Celtics at some point. That's my second addition to the show. I have made 2 bets before, but that's in a later game. So first half under 117.5 for me. What do you think of that look?
I love that look. I'm writing it down as we're talking about it here. It makes sense to me because, I mean, they have to play defense here as far as the Timberwolves. And, I mean, it's just the only thing that I'm telling you, the first half is the only thing that's just pulsing in my fucking head. Like, I would kill myself if I don't bet the Bucks and they just steamroll. You know what I mean? I will literally just go crazy because it's a bet that I've been making for years now. You know what I mean? So it'll kill me. But I definitely love that look. I just think that their defense has to be there for both teams, even more so for Timberwolves. So I think if the Timberwolves are playing defense and locking down, stopping, Grayson Allen from going off from 3, then this is going to go under for sure.
I like it. I really like it. Okay, so I'm going to move on that first half under 117.5. Great breakdown. Wham, bam. We move on to Lakers at Oklahoma City Thunder. What a call for all you guys, Mr. Pistol Pete Loshak included on the team total under for the Thunder. It didn't look good in the first half, but you knew that these kids would buckle under the pressure of the second half. By the way, Dan Kelly's on a second quarter under 55.5 in this Lakers Thunder game. Lakers 2-2, 1-0 on the road. Thunder 0-4, 0-2 at home. I love hearing you guys talk about the Lake Show. Let's see what we're talking about from an odds perspective. That is still on first half. Let me move it to the full game. We have the Lakers opening up as 7-point favorites. They're now 6-point favorites. This total's gone from 219.5 down to 217. Mally Mal says Jokic was hurt. We thought he was hurt, but it turns out they just wanted to rest the big guy, it looks like. So the people who get mad betting NBA, look, it's a fucking sharp chopstick. The Lakers are on the second half of a back-to-back after defeating the Spurs 125-121 in San Antonio. LeBron out due to ankle soreness. Since James joined the Lakers in 2018, he's missed more than a quarter of their regular season games. Last year, they were just 12-15 without him, but they were all so happy to get him off the floor. I don't know exactly what that means. AD goes for 35 and 17. Westbrook 33, 10 and 8. Ariza, Nunn, Horton, Tucker all out of the lineup. AD hurt himself late in regulation, so he remained in the game. He played all of overtime, but it was a knee knock and he was affected. So we'll hear from Wham if he thinks he'll be in the lineup. But would we expect not? What's your first? Do you expect AD to be in the lineup?
Bro, he was falling before that shit happened. I don't think he wanted to play today. He was already like, oh, shit. You seen that? And then you tried to make it, man, pussy, bro. Pussy, man. I don't expect him in. I expect LeBron to play, though.
The Thunder are also on the second half of back-to-back, a 106-98 loss at home to the Warriors. They played well, looking to avoid their first 0-5 start since moving to Oklahoma City. And they were leading that game until, the Warriors started trying. So here we go. Lakers, Thunder. We have a 6-point spread right now, down from 7, and the totals dropped 2.5 points to 217. Take it away, Wham.
Yeah, man. If anything, if you're gonna lay the Lakers, this probably is the spot. I'm not gonna lie to you. Both of these teams are for back-to-back. OKC, they're pretty much tanking. Is Sam Patient Presti at the front helm here? He's collecting all the damn draft picks, telling everybody just throw all those draft picks out there, the top guys, the lottery picks that we have, throw them out there, see what they can do. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a prop that we normally would like last year, but this year it seems like there's too much cooks in the kitchen. So he's not getting the same type of assists that he normally would or the rebounds that he normally would get. He's scoring, though. He's getting 3 points. He's scoring the 3 points there. So if you want to take a 3-point prop with Shea, I wouldn't be mad at you, because especially with this defense from the Lakers, man, they were nowhere to be found yesterday. The defense was not involved in the game plan. Now, I just want to give out, I don't normally, we do recaps and everything, but I don't normally talk about plays that I lost. But man, I had the fucking Russell Westbrook triple-double. It goes into fucking overtime. Ooh. I need 2 more fucking assists, but the whole fucking game, Pop is fucking making him score. It's cutting off the damn fucking passing lanes. Cutting them off, bro, the whole entire game. Still got 8 assists, but fuck, man. Damn, plus 420. I was about to smoke something good that day, bro. I was about to smoke something good right there. But neither here nor there. I do expect Russ to have a great game today. As far as his props, they may be a little bit inflated because he dropped 30. That was most he had as a Laker. So maybe a little overinflated there. But I think LeBron will play here. AD, if he's in, AD will tell me a lot about himself. If he's in, that means he's serious this year. But the way he was going about it towards the end, falling, not running back on defense, man, I know it's the regular season, y'all, but man, I'm starting to hate this fucking guy, bro. I'm just starting to hate this guy. I don't really have nothing good to say, honestly. I just really don't have anything good to say. So I don't want to make this about me and make this a Lakers therapy session or anything. But for the most part, I wouldn't trust the Lakers holding 6 if it was my mother they were playing out there against. You know what I mean? If they're playing my mother out there. So I'll stay away from this game, to be honest with you guys. It's just too many variables here. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if OKC beat us, bro. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron is in playing, AD's out, and we can't fucking defend the rim. And no, you know what I mean? I could definitely see that happening. But will it happen? I probably won't be involved in here. Just a fan. Yeah, man. I just got burnt yesterday. Yesterday, I cashed with the Lakers, though. I did have the 2.5. Then I also took the money line at plus 115 once the news happened. So I did actually end up with a profitable day with the Lakers. But, man, was it easy? No, it wasn't easy. Pop did his thing. I'm not mad at him, man. Made Russell Westbrook shoot layups, which he actually started to make them, so it's cool. But, man, Russell Westbrook balls out tonight, I believe, going back to OKC. I think that's the play, but I'm going to stay away from this game, bro. Hard pass, bro.
54% of the tickets are on Oklahoma City Thunder. 82% of the cash is on Oklahoma City Thunder. And 62% of tickets on the over. Not enough tickets to give us a cash number at that point. After that breakdown, it makes me think that OKC's the play.
Yeah, I mean, Lakers could be the play. OKC could be the play. That's why I'm just putting my hands up, bro. I don't want nothing to do with this game, to be honest with you, bro. Because I know my heart is telling me we probably lose this game. Even though when I looked at this this schedule, I'm thinking like, man, the NBA really loves the Lakers because they got all these shit teams bunched up into one little trip here for the Lakers. This could definitely make a winning streak here. I could see them going on an 8-game winning streak with the next 7 games that they have, including this one. But, man, do we want to lay the Lakers 7-6? Do we really want to lay that with the Lakers? No, I would definitely think OKC could make something out of it. But they suck, bro. They suck, and their job is to tank. Their job is to tank. Like, that's what they're on their bulletin board. They put don't guard at a perimeter or, you know what I mean, allow layups. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it seems like they have. So I'm going to stay away from this game for sure.
interesting spot because they certainly want to be the worst team in the league, but they wouldn't mind getting some foundation wins too to get a little bit of confidence with the group. I guess. And then if AD's announced out, what's this go to 4.5?
I don't even think he's for sure he's going to 4.5, but I don't think he's on the injury report right now. But we know how the NBA is; they late throw things out there all the time. So we just probably have to wait to see.
I accidentally skipped the game, so we got to go back. My apologies. Thank you for letting me know that, Jose. We go to the Atlanta Hawks, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Hawks 2-1, 0-1 on the road at Pelicans 1-3, 0-1. Smoothie King Center in New Orleans, Louisiana. We have Atlanta opening up as 6-point favorites and now 5.5-point favorites on the road. The total opened up at 220. It's now at 219 or 219.5. 84% of the tickets are on Atlanta with 6,380 tickets in, and 97% of the cash is on Atlanta. Then 53% of the tickets and 81% of the cash is on the under. All this money coming in on Atlanta, and it's a half-point move towards the Pelicans. Very interesting. Hawks bounce back from a 101-95 loss at Cleveland in their only road game so far to beat visiting Detroit 102-104 on Monday night. Lou Will came off the bench to see his first action, 9 points, 2 assists, 17 minutes. And he's questionable with right ankle soreness. 10 assists on 14 field goals in the third quarter and finished with 24 assists in the game. They're just playing good basketball. DeAndre Hunter, sick, illness probable for Wednesday. Danilo Gallinari, shoulder questionable for Wednesday. Pelicans finished a 3-game road trip with their first victory of the season, 107-98 in Minnesota on Monday. A huge relief for Willie Green. They've struggled without Zion, but Jonas Valanciunas looks like he keeps trucking no matter what. 22 and 23. That was one shy of his career high, 23 rebounds, one shy. And they out-rebounded the Wolves 60-41. Why? Because Valanciunas is a man, and Cat sometimes I don't want to say negative things, but I'll tell you what was in my head was Lil Bitch. That was what was going through my head. Josh Hart is questionable for Wednesday with a quad injury. Hawks, Pelicans, all this money on the Hawks, Wham, and it's not moving. It's half-point move towards the New Orleans Pelicans. Take it away.
Yeah, Josh Hart, they just gave out his quad. He's unlikely to play today, so he's unlikely to play there. It's another defender that they desperately need right now.
Sorry, did you say likely or unlikely?
Unlikely. My apologies. Okay. Unlikely to play. So his quad, it was game time decision 11 minutes ago, but now they just put out that he's unlikely to play. But I don't believe that this Pelican team is going to play any defense here in this game. I would lean towards the over in the first half here. I think it's probably best to take the Hawks there on the side. They got to get back to the swing of things. I do expect this team to be a top formidable team in the Atlanta Hawks. And it was great to see Willie Green get his first win as a head coach for the New Orleans Pelicans against the Timberwolves. It's great to see that stuff, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to be backing them anytime soon, especially without Zion. This team is built around Zion. They're built around getting points in the paint. Without that, the shooters aren't going to be open. You know what I mean? So they're shooting, and Brandon Ingram is still doing his thing. He's still trying to make a case for All-Star. He's still doing his thing. But after that, I mean, you really don't really get that much production from a lot of these other guys. I mean, you're getting down low production from Valanciunas. That is a good pick up there, but he's a guy that he needs a little bit of help down low as well. I mean, in this case, there's going to be a lot of guys available for the Hawks team, in my opinion, as far as like Capella, John Collins is probably not going to hurt down there, but you know what I mean? He's going to be trying to get lobs. There's going to be a lot of action going on in that direction. So I just think that the Hawks are going to be the better team here. I would lean first half Hawks, first half over in this game. I do think that the Pelicans can score on the Hawks. So my strongest lean will possibly be the first half over. I just don't believe that they're going to outscore the Hawks. You know what I mean? So I don't think they're going to be able to outscore them. I think the Hawks can cover the 3 in the first half for sure, and for sure cover the full game. It's just that I will more likely want to bet against the Pelicans early rather than later on, because it seems like they have some sort of mojo building up in off after the second half. I haven't had the second half numbers, but all the games that I've seen, they played pretty well in the second half. So I would think they come out a little bit flat in the first half, being on the road. Hawks could take care of business here. That's one thing that I've written down. Haven't made the official play here, but most likely I would pause. If I was to add anything, I would be adding the first half over first, and then the Hawks -3.
First half over Hawks -3. Again, Wham can tweet out at any time, just like what Skee did yesterday with 3 editions. You can tweet out any time you want. For the full game total right now, 47% of tickets are on the over, and just 19% of the cash is on the over. Ray Charles wants Trae Young over 9.5 assists, a +112, but nervous about the possibility of a blowout. And Mally Mal liking Atlanta in this spot. Mike Smith is on Hawks first half. Astute Chaos is on the Hawks first half -3, and he's on the first half under 110.5. Mike Smith says this is an Atlanta spot. All right, and Mally Mal is on the Hawks trifecta.
I agree.
Wow. Interesting.
This is something I've written down, Merle. I really thought that the Hawks were going to be a force, and they haven't really came up to that, but I think it's just because it's early in the season, so this could be a game that we see that they're really like that. You know what I mean?
All right, let's roll on. So there we move back. So I accidentally skipped that game. We move on to Sacramento Kings at Phoenix Suns. I was given this, and for some reason I copied and pasted, and I didn't write who said it. And I apologize, but if I copied and pasted, obviously I cared about it. Said Harrison Barnes over 2.5 threes is at +155, 15-27 from 3 in 3 games. His coach has challenged him to shoot 8 threes a game. Hit on this a couple nights ago and feel good about it. That was a copy and paste there for me. Dan T, thank you for the kind words, my man. Sacramento Kings 1-2, 1-0 on the road at Phoenix Suns 1-2, 0-1 at home. We're at the Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix opening up as 8.5-point favorites at Pinnacle. That's moved to 8. This total opened up at 226. It's now at 224.5. The Suns begin a 5-game homestand tonight. Bounce back from an opening home defeat by the Nuggets with a 115-105 road win over the Lakers and dominated that game. Then looked awful on the second night of their first back-to-back the next day in Portland, getting beat up 134-105 by the Blazers on Saturday night. So now they begin their homestand. They're well rested. They've had 3 days off, and they're 1-2. So you have to think that they're going to come into this against the Kings sharp and weary about this Kings team that had such a good preseason. Suns have allowed their opponents to connect at a league worst 43.1%. So look at this in scoring of threes. With threes, they're down. Listen to this: the worst in the league, 159-99 deficit on threes right now. That's unbelievable. Cameron Payne with the hamstring is being ruled out. Kings have shot just 32.5% on threes so far, so they've been much worse than they were last year. De'Aaron Fox is 3 for 19 on the year from 3. Which is and JR says Morgan Spooner posted that. Thank you.
Shout out to Morgan Spooner, man. I love that play, and I was going to elaborate on it there, but I love it. And honestly, I think he said over 1.5 threes. What did he say? Over 1.5 threes or 2.5?
Oh shoot! Let's just take a start. You never changing the vibe here. We cap together every day, and that brings us so close, you know. So Millsy comes in and says, "Please say a prayer for my mom. She's in the CCU," and says, "All prayers will help for our man Millsy." So let's just all take a second and send Millsy's mom all the prayers and love and light and positive energy that we can. We're thinking about you, Millsy, and from knowing you, we know that you'll lead your family through this. And I don't know what this will end up being, but I know that your family's very lucky that they can use your shoulders to lift them up. So thinking about your mom and thinking about you, Millsy, and praying for you and your mom and your family. So there's our guy, Millsy, MMA Locker Room, a huge part of what we do here at Pub Sports Radio. So
sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. All right, we'll start with your touch on the Harrison Barnes threes, and then tell us what you think about this game. So one more time here, we have the Suns opening up as 8.5-point favorites. They're now 8. this total's gone from 226 to 224.5. We have the line predictor saying with 80% confidence, the Sacramento Kings will go to 7.5. So 80% confidence. We have 56% of the tickets on Sacramento, 51% of the cash. So if anybody's looking at backing the Phoenix Suns in any way, wait, be patient here. Then we have 48% of the tickets on the under and 96% of cash on the under. Very, very interesting spot here. Kings, Suns, take it away.
Yeah, man, this game is freaking crazy. I don't see any defense though, honestly, from the Phoenix Suns. I don't see. I only see pace for the Kings. So the under there, man, I can understand. Just taking it as far as the number here, but man, that has me kind of concerned here, and I probably won't play the total here. I'm leaning towards the Kings here though, man. And we brought up our guy Mills, bro, like MMA locker room, bro, like definitely. Shout out to him, and his family. Hopefully everything's work out well, get well to Mama MMA for sure. But he was one of the first guys to tell me to take the Kings, man, every day, man. Take them on the plus money, and they've been pretty much cashing, bro. They've been pretty much cashing so far this year. I love that 3-point prop though, man. I think at my book they're giving me a 2. They're giving me a 2 with Barnes. Normally they always hook it. But they're actually giving me a 2 here for Harrison Barnes over 2 threes. I love that look a lot, and that I'm gonna write that down. That probably will be added on there. I actually really like that look. I didn't really look into what Luke Walton was saying about having him shoot more, but I've been watching the games, and he has been shooting more. So I can only imagine if he's even trying to amplify or making more, pushing him to do more threes there. I could only see this going over 2 for sure, or at the least pushing at a 2. I really like this look a lot, honestly. But going to this game here, as far
just
as
very quickly, I don't mean to interrupt, but very quickly, a sign that this is a casher is that Bet 365 is not going to move it off the 1.5, and it's minus 190 to the over.
Oh man,
they just don't want anyone to bet it,
bro. Yeah, I gotta take this, bro.
They don't want anyone to bet it.
FanDuel is offering a 2.5 at plus 153, I think. But here at Bovada, they're giving you a 2 at minus 109. I just think that just makes me really. I probably, if anything, after hearing everything I wrote down about this Phoenix team, I want to go ahead and back the Kings, but I think it's probably best if I just take the 2 there with the threes there. Yeah, and I really didn't have anything prepared to say about that because I didn't look up the I didn't really think about this prop honestly at all. I didn't even look at the props here in this game yet. But that seems like that probably is the one for me in this game, just because I've been watching those games and he's been shooting those threes. And if I could find that quote that he's saying about Luke Walton, it just only makes it even better to know that that's probably in the game plan for him to shoot 3. So, yeah, I actually really like this look. And then also just, man, again, can't really say it enough. Get well, Mama MMA. But my guy, bro, he did say the Kings are live, bro. And I think they are live in this game. Don't sleep on the Kings, man. I believe that they are probably a good team. And let's be honest, the Phoenix Suns, they haven't really shown us, they beat the Lakers, man. But the Lakers just got a new damn team. We could just kind of chalk that as a loss. Any other team that they have, they've been having a little bit of struggles here. They haven't been playing that much defense. They didn't get to the finals off of defense either. Let's be real about that as well. They really didn't get to the finals off of defense. But in this game, can they cover the 8? I don't know. I don't think I could back the Phoenix Suns here, or the under, in my opinion. But I understand the money being on there. Just that got me worried, honestly, about the total. I like the prop though. I like the prop. Harrison Barnes over 2. We can make that official. I'm locking it in already. It's at minus 10. Let me see. I think it's 108. Let me confirm.
No worries.
One second.
All right. So Morgan Spooner leading us towards this Harrison Barnes a 3 look, and the market is just especially Bet 365, which
minus
is
109. Minus 109. Yes, sir.
I like that. All right, Harrison Barnes over 2 threes at minus 109 is official. Wham bam, and thank you to Morgan for leading us.
Appreciate you
there. And then I don't know what to do here. Either. I agree that. I mean, I wonder, is this an angry Suns team that's going to send a message. The Kings did not look good in their last 2 home games, and they get on the road. I guess I'm going to stay off for now. Oh, by the way, a horse pick was dropped by our Razor Sharp picks, also at Keeneland. So race 3, the 6, Major Frontier at 6-1, which means that we've been given 2 horse picks at Keeneland, one from Razor, one from Guillermo Zertucci, and both at big numbers, which is what I love to see and love to tell. So I'm going to pop them both in the chat here for us. Okay, let's roll on. I don't know if I'm going to be moving at all on this game. I find it a little tricky. Let's look at that total one more time here where the cash lies, and we got huge amounts of money on the under. Shit.
Yeah,
and then we
that's
got
crazy.
This Suns team that's just not defending the perimeter at all.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what I just don't understand that I'm just going to stay away from it and just watch and see what happens. But I'm going to make a mental note of here. When all that money is on the side that just doesn't make sense, just fade the money. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's probably it.
Wouldn't the idea being that the Suns have to start defending the perimeter and that Monty will force that?
True. And they could try to slow the pace up with Aiden. Just run more Aiden action at the rim, slow down the pace a little bit. Especially with Chris Paul just pounding the ball. I could see that possibly. You know what? Now that you talk about it though, bro, it didn't make sense at first because I'm thinking that the dictator is going to be the Kings. They're going to push the pace. They're going to dictate the tempo, but that could be totally off, and it could be the other way around. Chris Paul just has the ball a lot, and there's no transition offense for the Kings because that's what they want to do. They want to get up and down the transition. So, it's going to be definitely a good game to watch. I'm going to already locked in at over 3s for Harrison Barnes, so I'll definitely be watching it. Last
question here, and I know we got to move on because we still got NHL. Are they a better defensive team without Cameron Payne on the floor?
That's a good question. He's definitely going to slow down the pace if him not being on the floor, so that would lead towards the under. But you know who they have coming in outside of him? I forgot who their third string. Who's their backup up behind him? Damn, because it's not Carter no more. You know what? I thought it was Carter, but he's on the Brooklyn now. Fuck, I just went a blank there, but I don't know, man. I don't know. He's not a good defender though, so it's not going to help. You know what I mean? It's not going to help though. Oh, it's Ty Jerome. Yeah, you know what, bro? I would say he's a better defender for sure. So, yeah, that kind of helps him. Being off the floor. That definitely probably will help them there. I just think if it is going to be an under game, it's Chris Paul holding the ball, you know what I mean? Dribbling, 30 times a possession.
Is Elfrid Payton going to see 25 or 30 minutes here?
I mean, what do you say about Elfrid Payton's defense? I mean, Swiss cheese almost though, right? Like,
I despise him. I
think he's Swiss cheese. They better not have him out there. I think Jerome is probably their best defender though, out of those 3 that we mentioned for sure. But even that, I mean, that's saying something as well. I mean, I think I just cannot bet the under here. I cannot bet the under with the Kings. It's just I don't think that's a long-term profitable for sure. Betting long-term with them. Even the Suns, like they didn't get to the finals off of defense. It was all based off of efficiency, man. Like making shots and shit, like making threes and stuff. Like I stay away from this under for sure. But I mean, I could see. I'm not trying to talk anyone off of it. I could see it happening, but it's just I'm not betting it.
It would be that first half, right? Because we have 2 very fresh basketball teams. So we know that they're going to be rolling in the second half. The Suns haven't played since the 23rd. The Kings haven't played since the 24th. Maybe Monty's trying to get into them. They got to defend the perimeter. Have to win the battle on the perimeter. We know that the Kings are going to take a ton of shots from the perimeter. All that put together means that first half might be the spot to take an under. And I'm nervous to do it, but I'm going to put that here, this first half under. Again,
Jose gave us some bad information. Jerome is on OKC.
Yeah, he's not on the depth chart. Okay,
it's all good, Jose. We appreciate.
I'm thinking of moving on the first half. It's Alfred Payton, who will get run. Okay, so very interesting. So Wham's on the Harrison Barnes over 2 threes at -109, and I'm interested in that first half under at this point. Okay, let's move on to Memphis Grizzlies at Portland Trailblazers. We have great stuff coming in from the chat because our man Daryl is on Memphis. Right. Daryl's on Memphis money line, and Nate Dogg says Chauncey Billups called out the team the other day. Portland may come out hard, and Daryl says Nate Dogg, I think that actually hurts them. He used the term embarrassment. There is no chemistry. So, and I preface this game with that because I think that Portland comes in strong after the 30 turnover debacle in the 116-86 road loss to the Clippers. And look, we're going to learn a lot about this team in this spot. And there's Morgan Spooner in the house. Thank you, Morgan. So I have bet the Blazers first quarter and first half. First quarter minus a half point, first half -1. And I only want them first quarter, first half because, you know, it's funny. It's funny that the Grizz lose 121-118, and I kind of consider them feeling good about themselves. Sitting at 2-1, barely losing. And I kind of sit here think that, you know, with the way Ja is playing, I wouldn't be surprised if they're feeling good about themselves in Rip City. So, and Portland is an angry basketball team. So we will see what this team's made of. So let's just take a look at the market and then discuss here. We have one game after this, and then we'll move on to NHL. So the full game spreads and totals in this spot here. We have, sorry, still in first half. Full game spreads and totals here. We have Portland opening up as 3-point favorites, but that was at +107. So that was really a 2.5. They've moved to 2. This total opened up at 234 and hasn't moved at all. From a cash standpoint, we have it's saying that with 84% confidence, the Blazers will go back to -2.5. And they have 64% of tickets, 67% of cash on the Blazers. 47% of tickets, 90% of cash on the under. An under that's not moving at all. Portland comes in off that ugly 116-86 road loss to the Clippers, 30 turnovers. Lillard, 12 points, 4-15 shooting, 0 for 8 from 3. In the past, I would take a Lillard prop here, but I'm trying to bet no player props. Lillard averaging 17 points through 3 games after scoring 28.8 last year, shooting 36 from the field. And here you go. We talked about De'Aaron Fox being 3 for 19 from 3. How about Lillard 2 for 24 from 3? Dame time, 2 for 24 from 3. 2 nights before they lose 116-86, they beat Phoenix 134-105. Tony Snell, foot being ruled out. Norman Powell, knee questionable. Memphis is split first 2 games of a 4-game road trip. They beat the Clippers 121-14 on Saturday, lost 121-118 to the Lakers the following night. Ja goes for 40 and 10 assists, averaging a league-best 35 points and 8 assists, shooting 58% from the field. God, he's so good. And Dylan Brooks still sidelined with hand-thigh injuries. Take it away, Wham Bam, Memphis, Portland.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Daryl. I like this Memphis Grizzlies team. They have the best bench in the NBA. I'm going to continue to say that. They have the depth there. And Ja has pretty much arrived. I would say he has arrived. I don't like the way he goes to Twitter, though, after games and shit like that. We definitely had that conversation with my guy, Skee Profit, several times that he just goes to cry to Twitter a lot, you know what I mean? Gives out motivational speeches to his followers and shit. Like, who cares, bro? You lost, man. Just go home, man. Just go home. Now, losing that free throw, though, I mean, pushing it to overtime in the Lakers game, with them losing, they battled back in that game because the Lakers pretty much had control of the game pretty much the whole way. I like what he did tweet, though, Daryl. I do like what he did tweet, but it's just the fact they continue to do it, bro. I think that Memphis is the better play here, especially without Norman Powell. Norman Powell is he just, bro. I already know. Car baby ass. I do. Well, wow, you talk about it all the time. But I just think that Blazers, bro, you know, without firepower like that, Norman Powell, it's gonna be hard for them to, you know, subsidize that. I mean, I do like Anthony Simmons. I always mess up his name here, but I do like that guy. He's played really well there. But I would think Dame time too, though, bro. Like when you said that, it just when we first started talking about this game, I was like, man, he has to play better. I didn't even know that's what his 3-point stats was. Could you say that again? You said 2 for 24
for 24. He's hitting at what does that give him? 2 for 24 is 8.3%.
Yeah, I was about to say 10%, but I was giving him love there. That's obviously not, dude. Like that sucks. That's terrible. I mean, honestly. You got to bounce back here, right? You got to bounce back here. But, I mean, this team, Grizzlies, I mean, they don't play that much defense on the perimeter, but they attack the paint a lot. You know what I mean? They attack the paint as far as what they're going to do here. I don't know, man. I just think that the Grizzlies probably are the best spot here. They're going to have the better big man, in my opinion, with Adams going against Nurkic. I think the guard play is going to tell who's making their shots here. If we could continue to get Dame time like that, you know, we might be running out of time, Dave. You might be out of Portland soon, bro. You know what I mean? I can only see it going down here from here, especially without Norman Powell. So I would only back the Grizzlies. I love the Grizzlies early. It's typically a good play to make long term. In this spot, I would see that's possibly being a good spot to take on the Grizzlies on the road here. I just think the Grizzlies probably are the better team here, and they bounce back. But don't get me wrong. Portland is really all about them making their shots. This is one of those games that if I'm having a great day, I'll probably make an addition here. Well, without tweeting out the action or anything, probably just keep some personal plays here. But if I was to lean anything here, it got to be the Grizzlies. And I'm taking money line. I'm not going to get anything other than plus money here in this spot. I'm taking money line Grizzlies if I'm doing anything here.
And is this something you're going to be thinking about and not moving on it at this point?
Yeah, I'm going to slow down because I normally on these type of days, like when it's such a big card, I typically like to watch my action come in. You know, some of these games, like if the Miles Bridges pop cash, I'll probably be thinking towards these later games here, thinking about backing the Clippers, thinking about backing the Grizzlies, thinking of that stuff like that.
Keep an eye on your Twitter and just tag me when you make moves. Lit Pick says he'll take the Dame prop for me. The Dame over 28.5 points, -108. You know, I like that, Lit Picks, because I got a little bit of skin in the game. Cheer for you and try to stay off all player props. Speaking of player props screwing me is this exact situation, though. This was a situation that I once dominated 3 years ago. And then last year, it was Jason Tatum that kept getting me when he'd go 1 for 12 from 3, and I'd be like, you know, I'm a Tatum fan, but like, oh, he's going to go off next game, and he'd go 2 for 10, and so I've got this bullshit going through my head, but I am on the Blazers first quarter, first half, and I think we're going to learn a lot about Chauncey and Dame and whether they have a future together here right off the hop. Top Set is going to take Grizzlies live, and we have a pick 4 at Parks from our Razor Sharp picks. Also, Cindy Plays Horses gave us 3 maiden races and she attacks maiden races so well. So if you are going to tail all of these, which I think is worth it, that gives us 5 spots on this board that are all going to be big numbers over at Keeneland, which will add a ton of fun. And then there's Razor's pick 5 at Keeneland. A pick 5 at Keeneland, and he singled the first 2 horses in the first 2 races. And if he can get through those, he's going to get a giant payout. So nice. Razor's pick 5 up at Keeneland. Razor, thank you for sharing that with us. Razor hosts his Thoroughbred show on Wednesdays and Thursday nights. Okay, let's roll on here. The final game on the card, we have Wham Bam joining us, star of the NBA Pub Hub, 4 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday. 10:30 p.m. Eastern, Cleveland Cavaliers and LA Clippers. We're at Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. Cavs are 2-2, 1-1 on the road. Clippers 1-2, 1-1 at home. We have the Clippers opening up as 8-point favorites. That's where it stands now. This total's gone from 217 to 219. And it says that with 84% confidence that the Cavs are going to go down to 7.5. 72% of the tickets are on the Clippers and 81% of cash is on the Clippers. And it's going to move to 7.5. Wildly interesting. There's tickets, 67% of tickets are on the over, but just 61% of cash. Here we go. Cavaliers continue 5-game road swing on Wednesday. They open the trip with a 99-87 win over the Denver Nuggets on Monday. Jared Allen was a beast, 21 points, 10 of 11 shooting. He was guarding Jokic very well. Also had 16 boards. Kevin Love went for 22 points off the bench. So with Love leading the Cavs in scoring on Monday, they've had a different leading score in each of their first 4 games, which is impressive. Isaac Okoro is doubtful for Wednesday's game with a left hamstring strain. The Clippers rebounded from tight losses to Golden State and Memphis with a 116-86 destruction of Portland on Monday. Kennard goes for 23 off the bench. Paul George has 8 steals. He leads the team in scoring at 28.7 points, and Terrence Mann is tied with him for rebounds at 7. Ibaka yet to play. Preston sidelined indefinitely, and Marcus Morris questionable with a knee injury. Last game on the card, Wham. Anything interest you here? Cavs, Clips.
Yeah, my first thing I think about here when I think about the Cleveland Cavaliers is Darius Garland over assists. Right now it's at 5.5, juice to -150. -150 at the assist prop for Darius Garland. That's kind of the way I normally would think automatically when I think about the Cleveland Cavaliers. But as of late, I mean, let's be honest, these Cleveland Cavaliers team has been playing really well. I do like the addition in Lauren Marketing. He does, give a little bit of a liability sometimes on defense, but he's making it up for you on offense, man. He's definitely doing a lot of different things. He got a poster dunk. I forgot who he dunked on, but dunked on somebody last game. I believe it was Jokic. Yeah, I want to say it was Jokic last game he got dunked on. It looked pretty good. Looks like he's healthy to me. You know what I mean? Keep that guy out there. Keep him running. This Clippers team, man, they did well for us last game. They blew off the brakes in that Portland game. It did seem like that was Portland. I want to say it was Portland if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was Portland there. I just think that the Clippers are finding their stride. They're a team that should be possibly laying 8 here in this spot. I just don't think it should be laying 8 against the Cavs, though. Now, I don't know how long the Cavs been in LA and how much weed they've been smoking and shit, but I would just think that, they could probably be covering this game. I do agree with the confidence in the line moving to 7.5, because this Cavs team I'm kind of high on. I think the Clippers probably are the play, though, especially early. Clippers first half, I could see them coming out here and winning by 6-7 points in the first half. The Cavaliers, historically, now I'm talking too much about this year, they have been playing really well in the first quarter this year. I may add there as well, because the reason why I didn't take them against the Denver, even though you guys know I like the Denver first quarter, which we lost yesterday, it's bullshit. But again, the reason why I didn't take them against the Cavs is because the Cavs have scored about 28 points in the first quarter leading up to that point, and they were able to do it again against Denver. So I kind of anticipate them scoring points in the first quarter. So if I was to lean anything here, it would probably be Clippers first half, first quarter over in this game. I just believe that this is another one of those games. It's later in the card. Let's see how our day is going. Maybe put a half a unit on Darius Garland over, maybe parlay with the over here, over assist with Darius Garland, and maybe parlay with the over here. I think there may be some points scored. I do like the defense front court for the Cavaliers, so it's kind of hard for me to, kind of disrespect them and take the -8 with the Clippers. That may be a little bit disrespectful here, in my opinion. So I'm not going to back the Clippers full game. I would think they could take care of business early on, though, for sure. I definitely like this Clipper team a lot. And someone even called me a Clipper fan the other day here because I'm so high on these Clippers here. But I'll leave that there because I'm damn sure not trying to suffer my life away and be a traumatic sports fan and be a Clipper fan. Come on now, y'all. But I do think they could take care of business early here. It's just a freaking 8 points, man. It's a little disrespectful to this Cavs team. Maybe it's just based off of what they expect public to be chasing here, and maybe taking the Clippers later on in the game, in the day. Probably the reason why the books like this big number here for the Cavs, but I'm not going to bet the Clippers full game. If anything, I'm going to take Darius Garland over the assist here. That would be my first priority, and then second one would be the first quarter over, and then also the Clippers first half. So in that order, that'll be the way I like it.
Interesting. So Garland assists will be something that you'll be looking at and possibly tweet out?
Yeah, no, most definitely. That if that's any addition on the card, it will be the Garland assist. He had 7 assists last game. Didn't play the two games before that. 12 assists in his opening game here. So he could get that 5.5 easily, and that's the reason why it's juiced at -150. And I'm totally fine with paying the juice here because we're going to get 6 assists from him for sure.
Okay, so we will keep an eye on the Wham Bam Twitter feed. Let's review action here on the NBA card. Wham is on the over 19.5 points for Bridges
Yes, sir.
in the Hornets Magic game to start off his card. I am going to move on the Celtics. I am going to move on them. I just feel like that was a huge embarrassment at home last time, and I just feel like they're going to be a different team. Now, I'm not going to double up, and I'm not sure if I want to focus on early rather than full. Then Wham is on the Heat at +4, and I get it, but it's moved to 3.5. He got it at 5.
I got it at 5.
So
yeah.
I'm not sure if I move. I probably don't move at 3.5. Pacers, Raptors, no move for us either with Hawks, Pelicans. I'm going to move on the under 117.5, first half under 117.5 in Timberwolves, Bucks. Then I'm interested in OKC.
And FanDuel has moved Toronto to the favorite -1 now.
Wow.
That's tough, bro.
I'm also going to move on the first half under 114 in Sacramento, Phoenix. I'm going to move on the first half under there, expecting Sacramento to defend the perimeter, and maybe I'm wrong there. I've already moved on the Blazers first quarter, first half. Again, I'm doing a lot of these because of just situations and psychological spots. We'll see if that blows up in my face. And then Cavs, Clippers, nothing for us, but Wham maybe adding Darius Garland. Wham, thank you so much.
Harrison Barnes too, over 2 threes
at -109.
At -109, yes,
I've got
sir.
that right here. Wham,
I only
yes.
have 3 so far, but most likely I will probably be adding action here later on, and we'll be adding on and tagging you in, bro.
Cool, and it'll always come down to quality, so no, don't feel pressure to add
sure.
a bunch of stuff.
No, this is my money I'm playing with. I'm trying to win.
I know, buddy. There he is, Wham Bam in the house. Follow him on Twitter. He's absolutely great. Follow at Trot Wam. He's got it right up there on the screen, at Trot Wam. Follow our man, and you will be on the big 4 p.m. Eastern show today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I also want to give a shout out to my wife. I hope she hears me in the background. Today's our 9th year anniversary. I love you, baby. You already know. Been rocking with you for 13 years, man. For 9. More to come, Queen. More to come.
Look at that. There you go. Wham Bam. Look at that, man. Leading by example, our Wham Bam in the house. Happy anniversary to the Trot Wam couple there. 9 years. A lot of love coming in from the chat. Okay, so we don't need to rush. We have NHL coming up. We also have race 1 at Keeneland, the starter allowance, and we've been given a look from Dennis Garcia. And Dennis, by the way, says Miami wins the game. Dennis Garcia is on the 1 here in this spot, the 1 in the pick 5, and so is Razor Sharp Picks. They're both in on the 1. It's a tandem here. We have 2 horses that are same ownership, and so they come under 1 and 1A. So Shy, I'm guessing, and Hoptown Honey, morning line 8-1 are being bet down to 7-2. And that is the starter allowance that we will break down. That's in 4 minutes. So I'm going to tail our guys here and call that race when it comes up. We are going to go into NHL right now. Just a little $20 tail here on the boys. Here we go. Lock that in. So I'll just pop it here. We go. Just a little $20 tail just to get the day started, just to get the blood pumping. There we go. All right. Okay, so let's move on to NHL. A disappointing night for me in NHL, and I'm now down 0.1 units on the season, which is very disappointing. Lightning -1 was a very easy spot, I felt. Cashed that at +117. Lost Avalanche -1 at -117. Lost the Minnesota Vancouver over 5.5 at -125. And lost the Ducks. And Dennis Garcia says, if you're using sports books and need a specific horse, can you pop that up on the screen? Actually, I got it here. Shy is the one that you want from our Dennis Garcia. And then I lost the Ducks money line. I got them at +110. It moved to like +125 before puck drop. And we were up 3-2 with 2 minutes left. And then Nikolai Ehlers got me right in the prison pocket. And it was very upsetting. I have moved on 3 bets in NHL confidently. And I beat market moves badly in 2 of them. And then I am waiting for a spot because the market is hammering the Oilers, and I want the Philadelphia Flyers first period, but I'm waiting, being patient and awaiting. All right. Let's go. We move over to NHL, 7 p.m. Eastern. Boston Bruins 3-1 on the year at Florida Panthers, undefeated 6-0, 4-0 at home. We're at Florida Live Arena in Sunrise, Florida. We have Ullmark going up against Bobrovsky. Both are undefeated on the year. Linus Ullmark 2-0 with a 2 goals against average, .935 save percentage, and Bobrovsky 4-0 on the year, 1.99 goals against average, .942 save percentage. So let's, and City Plays Horses says, as a Blue Jay fan, should I like this horse, Bringer of Rain? I get it. Mr. Gozer says, I love this game right here. Let's take a look at what the market has done. I have moved on the Panthers, and it's a very dangerous spot because of the sexual assault charges that are hanging over the Chicago Blackhawks franchise. And when this all happened, they won the Stanley Cup in 2010, and Joel Quenneville was the coach, and he's guiding the Panthers right now. And that makes me very nervous. Makes me very nervous to be backing Florida because of it. But if this wasn't going on, I would be confident in Florida because I don't think Boston is nearly as good as they were last year. I think the loss of Krejci hurts. We've seen Taylor Hall do very little without Krejci feeding the puck. I believe Krejci assisted on something like 8 of his 10 goals after he was traded at the trade deadline over to the Bruins. You have Craig Smith hurt. You also have Nick Foligno out for extended period. So Curtis Lazar is able to come off the IR today. We won't know if he will, but you take Foligno and Craig Smith and Krejci out of this lineup, and I think they're susceptible. I expect this Panthers team to come out very pumped up in this spot because they want to go 7-0 and they want to send a message. This isn't like that Arizona Coyotes spot. This isn't a spot where they had some weakling from a different conference come in. This is a division that they are a division foe that they're going up against. What's the first thing you think of over under wise if a pair of teams have only played each other 18 games since 2007? Big Show, I wouldn't let that. So Big Show asking a question before you get into hockey. What's the first thing you think of over under wise if a pair of teams have only played each other 18 times since 2007? I honestly wouldn't take in that statistic. There's a few stats that I don't bother with in NHL. Something that my dad and I kind of have done together, so that wouldn't really move or be a big part of it. We are loading up for race 1 at Keeneland, by the way. So I'm on the Florida Panthers here. They open up at -117. They're now at -129. I got -125. I got the let me just go over here. I got them at -1 at what? -1 at +129. I got -125 and +190. We are about to pop off here for the first race at Keeneland. Dennis Garcia has given us the one horse. It is a entry 1 and 1A. So we have 2 horses for that buck. There is a 3-1 favorite now at 9-2 here. So we have a 9-horse field, race 1 starter allowance here at Keeneland. Shy O'Shai and Alex Archard and Hoptown Honey with Maddie Martin are whom we are backing here. We are at the post, traveling 6 furlongs on the dirt at Sweet. Oh, sorry, my legs get crazy when I start betting horses. And we're off! We are off. A nice start for Shy O'Shai at 9-2 on the rail, but it is the 2 Sky Value, a long shot at 56-1 that has come out firing. Beside the 2 Sky Value, we have the 6 Isabella Canatella, morning line 6-1 now, 15-1. And beside the 6, we have the 7 Miscellaneous, morning line 3-1 now, 6-1. Our 1 Shy O'Shai is in a very dangerous spot, a ground-saving trip on the rail here, sitting in 5th place, about a length and a half off the lead. The opening quarter was 22.62, a 22-3. The one looks like Shy O'Shai's got a lot of horse. He's looking for room. Find that room, Shy O'Shai. He's looking for room. He's just not getting any room. He's trying to find it. Come on, find the spot. Find the hole. Now he's gone all the way to the outside. God damn, is this going to cost us the win? Is this going to cost us the win? Push, Shy. Push. Come on, the favorite, the 3 is up front. Here comes Shy O'Shai late. Catch him at the wire, Shy O'Shai. Push it, baby. Push it. Push it, and we cash. We cash. There's $100 for you and you and you. Actually, it went down to 7-2. So 70 profit. Thank you, Dennis Garcia, for that. All right. Yeah! And Razor Sharp moves on from his single, and we move on to the next game in NHL. 7 p.m. Eastern, Detroit Red Wings at Washington Capitals. Detroit Red Wings 3-2-1, 1-1 on the road. Capitals 4-0-2, 2-0-2 at home. Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. We have Alex Nedeljkovic starting for the Red Wings. And I tell you what. Oh, and here is Birdie says, Bruins have motivation to be Florida's first loss. All this Coach Q news is going to affect Florida. No question Florida is better, but in this spot, I'm more comfortable betting on the Bruins. I agree. I agree. The reason why I'm sticking with Florida is I have a feeling that the undefeated streak means something to Florida too. But I certainly don't think you're wrong. In fact, I think that you are right. I think that you are right, Birdie. I think that you are right. And Mr. Gokster seeing Grice. Well, that will help. So Rod Brindamore had to have a say in Nedeljkovic being let go. My prediction is that last year, Nedeljkovic's numbers in Carolina, he will never have again. He will not be an elite goaltender in the NHL. When a character guy like Rod Brindamore, who has a team knocking on the door of the Stanley Cup, and you have a save percentage up at .930, and you're nominated for the Vezina, and they don't want you on their hockey team, something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. Vitek Vanacek, I expect to be in net for the Capitals. 201, 2.05 goals against average, .920 save percentage. Let's take a look at the market right here for the Red Wings. They open up at plus 174. They're now at plus 184. So there's an 8-cent move because Washington's gone from minus 200 to minus 208. An 8-cent move towards the Washington Capitals. From a total side of things here, we have the Capitals opening up, this total opening up at 6.5, and it's dropped down to 6. So we're now down to 6. And Birdie says, I still say this goalie stuff was an agent play, Jimmy. I don't. We'll look back at this over the next 10 years, Birdie. I say that Nedeljkovic never has a year like he had last year again in the rest of his career. And in 5 years, he's not a starting goaltender in the NHL. That's my guess here. Okay, so let's move on. And Remo says Vanacek is confirmed. So from a cash flow standpoint in this game, let's move over to NHL. Oh, by the way, we didn't do that for the Boston-Florida game. 69% of the money line tickets on Florida, 67% of the cash. 32% of tickets on the under, 60% of cash. And you're right. This is a Bruin situation with the sexual assault hanging over Quenneville. But I guess I just don't think they're a very good hockey team. And we'll see if that trumps everything. It may not here. In the Washington-Detroit game, we have 72% of the tickets on Washington, and they don't have a cash flow standpoint yet, but 51% of tickets on the under and 97% of cash on the under, and it has moved to – it's dropped to half. So Mr. Gokster says, I'll take that bet, Jim. Okay. Which one? That he will not be a starting goaltender in the NHL in 5 years, or that he'll never have a season close to what he had last year? Let me know. That bet, by the way, paid out $9.20 on $2. Gorgeous. Fucking gorgeous. Top Shelf Play says, don't y'all think under for the Bruins game? I don't know. It's going on from 6 to 5.5. You know Boston's going to play it tight. But Florida can go toe-to-toe. Florida's just a better hockey team than Boston this year. So, but let's stick with Detroit here. Detroit snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 6-3 win in Chicago on Sunday. They had been outscored 9-1 in their previous 2 games. against Montreal and Calgary. Jacob Vrana remains out indefinitely, and defenseman Gustav Lindstrom is day-to-day. Caps are coming off their third win in 4 games, 7-5 at Ottawa on Monday night. Nick Backstrom is still on the IR, and that helps them because it's LITR, so they get it off of their books. And that's like a $9 million salary off their books. And Nick Dowd, another center, is day-to-day with a lower body injury. Mr. Gokster's all over the Bruins here. So you got a lot of strong cappers on the Bruins here, and I get it. And that's the only spot on the board that hasn't completely moved, where I haven't destroyed the market move. So I can understand why you guys are in that spot. The Capitals seem early in the season, knowing how old their core is, to not be letting games slip past them that they can win. And I don't think betting against Detroit will be a profitable spot this year. And I don't want Washington at minus 208, obviously. So then you would take Washington on the puck line, and I don't want them on the puck line. But you are getting a plus number. So this Boston is a stay-off spot for me. Let's move on to Toronto, Chicago. Toronto Maple Leafs 2-2-1, 0-2-1 on the road. They don't look good. And they're lucky they're not in Toronto right now because they're getting absolutely hammered in the media. Jack Campbell expected to be in goal, 2-2-1, 2.39 goals against average, 0.915 save percentage. Marc-Andre Fleury, I thought was going to be in goal, but maybe he won't be. Remo saying Lankinen is likely for Chicago. Jansen says fade Leafs. Campbell's not the guy. I agree that Campbell's not the guy. But I do think that Chicago is under a huge weight. And I don't know what's going to happen to them. I got the Leafs at -1 at -112. That was -170 and +140 when I bet it last night, and I tweeted it out when I bet it. And right now, it's -200. So there's been a 30-cent move at Bet365, and the puck line's at +125, and I got that at +140. Nate Dogg leaning towards the over. The Leafs just really aren't scoring right now, but the Blackhawks are an absolute mess. They're an absolute mess. So first off, let's discuss what's going on with them in this sexual assault case, which is not a fun read. And this happened in 2010. There was a meeting that took place with all of these guys. Stan Bowman had to resign yesterday when the report came out. They had a meeting that this guy sexually assaulted 2 of their players and an intern that was working there, and they did nothing. They offered this guy a chance just to quietly resign and just brushed it under the table. And that's going to cost everybody. And Quenneville's probably going to get fired now as the Florida Panthers coach, and it's probably going to cost me my +450 on the Panthers to win the division. So you have that. And then you have Patrick Kane, Mike Hardman, Riley Stillman, UR Kyra, Jonathan Taves, and Henrik Borgstrom all COVID list and expected not to be in the lineup. So you have the best players on this team in COVID protocol. You have the general manager here in Stan Bowman, who's also the general manager of Team USA for the 22 Winter Olympics, gone, and all these guys in COVID protocol. If it was just COVID protocol and Kirby Doc and DeBrincat got an opportunity to run the offense and show that they could, play 25 minutes as the first line, I would think, man, maybe the Blackhawks is an interesting bet. Maybe you wait right before puck drop. But with the weight of the sexual assault case tainting the 2010 Stanley Cup, who wants anything to do with this Blackhawks team? So, Mally Mal, yes, I'm on the Leafs. I got them last night. I destroyed the line move. Top Shelf Play says fade the Blackhawks at all costs. Slatsy says Lankinen confirmed even when Taves and Kane return, they have to meet about the sexual assaults. You don't think that's weighing on them also? Oh, it's weighing on everybody. It's weighing on everybody. Kenny Can, thank you so much for joining us, my man. So the Leafs win this game. I didn't need to take the -1, I don't think, but I did. And the Chicago Blackhawks should quite likely be a fade every game right now. And we'll see how they handle this. But I believe that they should be a fade every game right now, much like the Arizona Coyotes. Now, the Coyotes, I think, are going to be a nice first period bet because Rick Tocchet is able to inspire this team, even though they have no talent, not enough talent. But they could play hard for 20 minutes and teams could look past them. And they almost cashed the money line against the Panthers first period. The Panthers scored a late goal. Okay, so real deal. What do you mean Chicago hasn't played yet this season? Okay, so there we have it. Leafs over the Blackhawks. Leafs -1. I got -112. That line is gone, and maybe you guys have to take the puck line right now. All right, let's move on to a very, very interesting spot. 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Vegas Golden Knights at Dallas Stars. I also took the Dallas Stars on the -1 line. I got -125 on the money line, +200 on the puck line. So I got a -1 line of +133. That market's moved heavily in my favor. The Stars are now -160. I got -125 as part of my -1. -160, and the puck line's +165. I got +200. Why is there being a huge market move? Mainly because Laurent Brossoit will be in net for the Vegas Golden Knights, and he looked awful in the short time he spent on the ice so far this year. And the Dallas Stars are at home here, and Vegas is on the second half of a back-to-back, of an emotional back-to-back against the team that's favored to win the Stanley Cup in the Colorado Avalanche. So the Vegas snaps their 4-game losing streak last night with a confidence-building 3-1 win at Colorado. But Dallas had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 4-1 loss at Columbus, and now they come back home. Top Shelf Play says Vegas money line is a lock. Well, wait, Top Shelf, be patient because there's a huge market move towards these Dallas Stars, and they're saying that it will continue, that Dallas is just going to keep getting bet here. Of 73% of tickets are on Dallas, 64% of cash, 42% of tickets are on the over, and 70% of cash is also on the over, which is interesting because these teams have enormous injury issues. So I'm surprised that they think there's going to be offense. Let's just see what this total is that Sharps are betting the over on here quickly. I guess it's because Brossoit's in goal, but it opened at 5.5, juiced to the under -117, and now there's been a 3-cent move towards the under. I'm shocked that this is the situation that people are expecting a ton of goals. But let's go over the injury issues because they're getting bigger. Oh, Jason Robertson is good to go on Wednesday night for Dallas. That is another market move towards the Dallas Stars. 45 points in 51 games last year. Rupee Hintz has done nothing without Jason Robertson flanking him. And I've got Jason Robertson in the hockey pool, so I like seeing that. Jason Robertson will make his season debut for the Dallas Stars, which makes them a healthy group. So that would mean that you would think that Blake Comeau will be on the ice as well, and they'll be completely back except for Ben Bishop if Blake Comeau is also on the ice with them. So then we move over to this Vegas team. So we talked about why this team has been so good, since their existence, and it was all because of the Wild Bill, Marchessault, Riley Smith line being a second unit, because they're arguably the best second unit in the league. And they made this team a Stanley Cup-bound hockey team when they were getting paid $1.5 to $2.5 million. Now they each get paid over $5 million, and I thought this was going to hurt this team. Then they bring in Mark Stone as a captain, and they pay him like $8.5 per, and I was like, how are they going to balance this when they're paying so much to their forwards? And they made some spectacular moves. One was getting rid of Nate Schmidt, who's a bum, and getting rid of that contract, and then being able to sign Pietrangelo. But with Mark Stone and Max Pacioretty out, and looks like could be at least for another month possibly, that moves that second line to the first line, and they're just not quite as good. Alec Martinez also day-to-day, and then they lose Zach Whitecloud. So you have Whitecloud and Alec Martinez out. You have Alexander Tuck, who's been out all year, and you have Nolan Patrick sidelined now with an upper body injury. I don't know how they're doing it. I do not know how they're doing it. So Top Shelf Play says Vegas sticks are hot after last night. I am on Dallas, and I destroyed the line move, and I'm very confident on the other side. But I wish you the best of luck. Top shelf plays. We have Ron Crawford coming in with a spreadsheet play of the day right here on Edmonton -1. Ron Crawford is in with the spreadsheet play of the day. Ron Crawford here on the Oilers -1. All right. Also, keep an eye out for Dennis Garcia if he wants to put more cash in our pockets. By the way, Razor Sharp Picks, too, we could just use, because Razor Sharp Picks singled the 1 and got through. He's on the 2 here at Keeneland, 14 minutes to post. So this is how I see the show, rest of the show banging out. We're going to talk about this Flyers-Oilers game. We are going to hear Jose's movie review of Slapshot. We're trying to make him a better man by giving him 1 movie a week. We gave him Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 2 weeks ago. And last week we gave him Slapshot. And then we will have race 2 at Keeneland, coming off a nice casher. So let's talk about this Flyers-Oilers spot. Last night, the Oilers were -165 at Bet365, and the Flyers were +145. And I was shocked. And I clearly, at this point, the Oilers -1 would have been a look. But something makes me uncomfortable with this Oilers team when they're kind of fat and happy, which is what they are right now, 5-0 on the year. This has moved 20 cents towards the Oilers. So it's now +165 for the Flyers, and the Oilers are now +165. The Oilers are now -185. I want the Flyers first period at +135. That is what I want. I want +135 on the Flyers first period. Let's talk about the cash flow in this game. We have, sorry to move here. We have 81% of the tickets, 91% of the cash on Edmonton, and 80% of tickets on the over, and we're not sure what's going on with the total at this point, cash-wise. The Flyers come in rested, and they get to start their road trip here against a very dangerous hockey team with the best player in the world. And that's going to motivate this Flyers team. So they come in rested. Now they're missing Ryan Ellis and Kevin Hayes, who are injured. They were last seen in a 4-2 loss at home to the Panthers on Saturday night. So they lose to the Panthers. Then they get to go to Edmonton. They did not go out last night in Edmonton. Edmonton is not a spot where you want to go out and party. They are very focused to come out strong in their first road game of the season, and that's why I'm backing the Flyers on the first period. Oilers are coming off their 5th straight win. Mike Smith is hurt, so Koskinen is going to be in net. Now, he's looked very good so far this year, but they've won 5 straight to open the year. They win 5-3 at Vegas on Friday night. I'm sure they go out and party all night. They take the plane home on Saturday. They lie to their wives and girlfriends Saturday night. They're filled with guilt on Sunday. They go to the rink to practice on Monday, continues the lies of whatever the hell happened in Vegas on Friday night. And I think the Flyers are licking their chops to come out very, very strong. Jim Rome Zaduke says Ellis has been a little beat up, but should be good to go. That is good to hear that. Nate Dogg says the Flyers game has been improving the last couple of games. Says, however, I'm on Edmonton moneyline and the over 6.5. And Nut Flush Allen says, I want to know if you will cover my speeding ticket that I just received in the Pepsi truck. When you called that horse race, I got so pumped up I took the outside lane and put the pedal down. No, Nut Flush, no. Damn it. I'm so sorry, Nut Flush. I hope that winner covers the ticket. Fuck, I'm sorry. Okay, so I think the Flyers come out ready to go, completely poised. I'm on the Flyers first period, but I will wait. And I will wait when I look and see all this money on Edmonton. And remember what happened when the Coyotes came to town. Like, let's just take a quick look at what's going on here for this Oiler team and talk about the spots where they've just come out a little flat. Let's move over here, and this will be our final thing. We are 10 minutes to post, so we'll have a lot of time for our man Jose's movie review here we go. So this is the Oilers. They play Vancouver. Oh, so they play. Sorry, it wasn't Arizona. It was Anaheim. They play Vancouver at home. They win 3-2. Then they beat Calgary 5-2. And then Anaheim comes in and almost beats them. They lose. It was 6-5 in this Anaheim game. They allowed this Anaheim team that doesn't have a ton of offensive talent to jump all over them. What's going to happen when the Flyers, who do have offensive talent, come at them? The first period in this game, Shattenkirk scores 5 minutes in. The Oilers are up 3-2, and then they allow 2 second-period goals to the Ducks. So with all that being said, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait all night, and I'm going to move on the Flyers. First period. It's at plus 135 right now. I will keep an eye on what it does, but that is my look. So let's and Big Show says this is the matchup I was talking about when they only played against each other 8 times since 2007. Edmonton's 10-8, and only 8 of them have went over 6.5. I'm going under first, second, and third, and full game. Wow. So personally, Big Show, with just the way I cap, I don't care if what a goaltender's numbers are. Let's say I don't care what Carter Hart's numbers are against the Oilers, for instance, as an example. And so I don't really care what's happened 10 years ago or 12 years ago, especially with the Oilers, because those were Oilers teams that struggled offensively, and now they have McDavid and Draisaitl, and now they can actually split up McDavid and Draisaitl because they have Zach Hyman. But if this works for you, I'll be very, very interested because it's just not something that I trust myself. So I'm on the Flyers first period at plus 135. All right, let's review NHL. Then we'll do the movie review. Then we'll call Race 2 at Keeneland. And then we will move to a full review of all the picks on the show, and then we'll put a bow on this bad boy. So this is my NHL here. I am nervous about the Panthers spot. I'm on them, and psychologically, it's not a good spot for them. Boston really wants to put a number beside the Panthers' loss column. But I do think the Panthers have every reason to stay focused because they're 6-0. And they hate the Bruins. And the Bruins have injuries. So I'm on the Panthers -1, but I feel pretty lukewarm about it. I'm on the Leafs -1. I destroyed the line move. And I'm on the Stars -1. I just obliterated the line move. And then I'm going to be adding the Flyers first period. The Flyers first period. Okay. Yoshi Carp says Sharks messed me up last night and the Habs. Yeah, but we had Birdie all over the Predators last night. So it would have been a pretty easy tale. We're 6 minutes to post, which gives our guy, Jose, some time to give us his movie review of Slapshot and let us know if he's become more of a man. Very quickly, Dennis Garcia says, my only real opinion of Keelan is to fade the 1 with what? Says, no idea. I took the 8, but I don't love it. And Razor is on the 2. So I'm going to make this, I'm going to put this bet in now so I don't need to worry about it. Let's see, where's my account right now? Gorgeous. I'm only going to make a little $20 bet again. I'm not going to bet more just because we won the first race. So let's move over to race 2. Just $20 to win. $20 to win on the 2 Tis of Thee. All right, ticket submitted. Just going to pop this here in the chat. Oh, shit. Sorry. Here we go. Okay. And I'll pop that in the chat. Good luck to all. Again, Dennis Garcia and Razor are fading the favorite. And Dennis Garcia tweeted out the 8-2-3. So, you know what? Maybe a little. I'll just do a little $3 exacta box. 8-3. While I'm betting that right now, and I'll pop it into the chat, let's hear from our man, Jose Bouquet. Jose Bouquet movie reviews. He's just seen the movie Slapshot. Take it away, Jose.
Hello, Jim. How's it going? Good movie. Good movie. I can't complain about it. I've got some notes. Helga was pretty fascinated with it. She said it was pretty slow to start off with. And it turned out you know that is it the Hansons? Is that what they are? The
Yes.
triplets? The triplets? Are they triplets or are they brothers? I don't know. But that's what really picked up the movie for her and for myself. Jim, I have some questions for you that I would love answered. This is generally about the movie. Just my notes, I guess, going through it. I figured out what icing was. Shout out to my French-Canadian goalie, who Alexis was just baffled by the accent. Didn't know what the accent was. Couldn't understand him half the time. And it was funny. It was good. What was his name?
I believe his name is
You can even make it something up for me. Just something very French-Canadian. That'd be nice.
It's Lemieux. It's what the fuck is his name? It's been a while since I've watched it, but keep rolling. I'll get the goalie's name up here in a second.
Okay, so I wanted to let you know. I think I've told you this before, but I played hockey for a week, Jim. I played hockey for a week. I realized that all the kids knew how to skate, and I did not know how to skate nor backwards. So I tapped out, and I said I'm not going to be the first man to swell in the NHL. But I could have been. Playing hockey with no helmets, insane. I don't know why people did that or why that was a thing. But if they did it now, I mean, imagine just like the hair, the flow. It'd be awesome. That would be sick. But that was crazy.
There was honor back then in the NHL. The honor is gone. You can't. The sticks didn't come up and chop people's necks and take out. I mean, there were injuries. There have people who lost eyes. You know, Willie O'Ree being one of them. But when there was no helmet, there was a lot more honor in the game. And when helmets came, there was a lot more attacking above the shoulders.
Okay. All right. Interesting. This is a question for our hockey coaches, Slatsy and Jim. I know you're obviously played. I know you've got that in your blood. How do you know when to go on the ice? People just come on and off, and I never know. Like I feel like the coach just kind of sits there and just like barks out random orders, but I have no idea when people know when to come on and off.
Well, you know who's your position, right? If you're a right winger, you know the right winger's on the ice. So the right winger starts moving towards the bench. You also make a little bit of eye contact. You know to get ready to jump on the ice. So it's quite easy. You just focus on whoever your position is on the ice.
What if like two right wingers just hop out on the same time? Are you gonna fight it out right there?
When two right wingers hop out on the same time, there's a too many men on the ice penalty, and one person is sent to the box, and the winger that shouldn't have jumped on will be benched.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. So here's a quote. One of my favorite quotes so far. I'm gonna flash him, Joe. I'm gonna wiggle my dick out, and then he proceeds to wiggle his dick out for the fashion show. Jim, have you ever flashed and wiggled your dick out for a full fashion show?
Yeah, I often before I became, the family man that you see now. I'd my dick out all the time.
Okay, fair enough. Do you own a Chiefs jersey, by the way?
I do not. No, but I know a bunch of friends that do.
Who would you get? What would the jersey be?
Oh shit! This is the spot. Sorry, this is the spot where Cindy's on the 5, right?
Oh no,
Cindy's on the 5. Okay, sorry. Keep going. Sorry, I forgot. I'm gonna have to. I gotta cover Cindy's horse here, don't I?
Slats said that he'd love to see me play hockey. Slats, in that time, I have figured out how to skate, and I've got the softest hands in Texas. So
Okay.
if you want a fantastic center, Slats, you know where to call me. You know. Will I need all the equipment? Yes. Will I know what I'm doing? No. But will I give it my all? Yes. So Slats, I got you. Now, more questions for you. I guess random thought. There was a guy at the bar when they figured out they were going to get sold or whatever. That rumor started, and he basically turned into an opera singer for a half second, and that was honestly the funniest part of the movie for me. I don't know about you. I would love to hear what you thought the funniest part of the movie, but just this random man singing opera in the bar was hilarious, and people learning news from the newspaper was also hilarious to me.
learning news from the newspaper. That's all I remember as well. I got to cover this here for City Place Horses here. Sorry.
You got it. No, I believe in you. You can do all this. By the way, shout out to Dennis Garcia, because I also back here I bet our horse Shabam Bam, whatever it was called, and we won. And that was awesome. But of course, Jim, you said I'm going to bet the same. I'm not going to increase my bet size to this horse. I instead just bet all my profit on this next horse. So we're riding, and it's awesome.
Okay, all right. I did
know that.
I did end up betting a little more than I had planned because I wanted to add in the exacta boxes with 258, and I had $3 on that when I was going to just go 2, but that's fine. So $3 exacta box 258. I did cover Cindy's 5, and we are about to roll on. All right, and then we will finish off the Real Deal Prime says Airplane. That was going to be a very possible movie for him. You've never heard of it, right?
No, is that the one with Kareem?
Yes.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I'm so fucking smart.
All right, we are in the gates here. Race to it, Keeneland. We will finish off with Jose's movie review of Slapshot. We are off. The favorite Circle Back Jack has come out firing. In second is the Deuce. The Razor's Deuce sitting right on the hip of Circle Back Jack. You got James Graham in the irons with the 2. In third is the 8. So we have the 8 right there as well. That was Dennis Garcia's look because he wanted to fade the 1. The 8 all in sync with Ricardo Santana Jr. They are traveling here 6 furlongs, and that opening quarter was brisk, 22-1, 22.34 seconds. Cindy's 5 is in a dangerous spot right now as well. If we could get that 5 to get in there, we'd be rich. All right, they're coming around the 1 right now. Can they get past this 1? Is this 1 going to get tired? The 2 is trying to blow past the 8. Dennis Garcia's 8 has gone past. Can that 2 come? Can that 2 join? Come on, Deuce. Fire. Here comes is that Cindy's 5? No, it's not. Fuck, I wish that was Cindy's 5. That is the 10, I believe. A bomb coming in. The 10 is a 10-8-1. It might be 10-1-8. 10-8-1, 10-1-8 final. There you have it. Cindy's 5 was in a nice spot to fire. Overlander. All right. Still in the land of the black. Still in the land of black. Nate Dogg says Animal House is a good one. Nutflush Allen says Jimmy scroll up. Says 911 Officer Reed said with 27 years of a clean record, he's given me a warning. Gave him a shout out. Officer Reed, that's part of the warning agreement. Thank you, Officer Reed, for being so good to our Nutflush Allen. Wow, that 8 went up alongside the 1 and should have taken him. It would have been a nice payday. Nice try. Okay, here we go. Back to our movie review of Slapshot. So we're gonna get to the bucket soon. Continue on.
Yes, I'm sorry if this is boring anyone. I don't hockey, so I've got to ask these questions. But let's get to the good part.
Sure.
The Hansons. I have never seen my girlfriend react to something like just so violent. Apparently, like she literally lost her mind for about 20 minutes when the Hansons first came on the ice. She's like, "What's going on? Why are they attacking everyone? What the hell?" And then they all like triple team some dude on the boards, and literally she just starts yelling. They just attacked that man. What is happening? So I would like, Jim, a recommendation from you. Is there a YouTube compilation? Is there a certain player or a certain group of players that I should send Alexis that she can watch the real life Hansons, perhaps? Your enforcer line or something good, because when the San Antonio Rampage were a thing back here in the AHL, shout out to them. We went to the hockey games to watch the fights. So,
well, the toughest player, I believe, in the NHL was Bob Probert, and there's a great documentary on Netflix right now about Bob Probert and about his life. And so Proby was the Bob Probert. So There's a couple great documentaries on Netflix right now because they also have the story of the Trashers.
I've watched that, of course.
You watched that, okay. But the Bob Probert documentary is better than that. The Bob Probert documentary is on Netflix right now. It's absolutely incredible. For my money, Bob Probert was the toughest guy in the NHL, but for whatever reason, he had to be on drugs to have that edge. When he sobered up, he didn't have that edge. When you're sober, you don't necessarily want to hurt somebody. You don't want to. You don't have the hatred isn't there. When you are on drugs, it's very easy to be on that violent edge where you just want to go out and hurt somebody. So I think Bob Probert was the toughest guy that I remember in the NHL. Now, the Vancouver Canucks had some really tough. Puzzler says the Broad Street Bullies have some vids. That would help you. Yeah, if you check out the Broad Street Bullies, they wore long pants and they kicked the shit out of everybody and won Stanley Cups. So,
don't they everyone wear long pants? You telling me that hockey players wear shorts?
Yeah, they wear shorts and socks.
Excuse me? They're not just pants?
After this breakdown of the movie Slapshot, I'm not sure if we're going to allow you to make any more picks in NHL with your knowledge of the. Nate Dogg says Cooperalls. I wore Cooperalls the same. Jim Rome Seduce says drugs do the opposite for me. And Nut Flush Allen, no ticket. Nice job, Nut Flush Allen. You're a good man. That's why he could tell you're a good man.
He's a sweet talker.
Mr. Gokster met Bob at a golf tournament here in Belleville, shook his hand. Brian Watson says Gordie Howe is the toughest. The problem is that Bob Probert would have respected Gordie Howe too much to
Gordie Howe would still be playing hockey right now if he was living. So that man just refused to stop.
Gordie Howe created the Gordie Howe hat trick, right? Gordie Howe created.
I know what that is.
The Gordie Howe hat trick, the goal, assist, and a fight. I think a Broad Street Bullies is what you need to. That was a good call by Puzzler. Broad Street Bullies, and
by the way, Michael Orvelina, I have seen Goon. Fantastic film.
Yeah, and so I would see. So as a Canucks fan, I had the pleasure of watching some of the toughest guys in the NHL. For us, it started with Craig Cox, probably. Pat Quinn was one of the few general managers the Canucks have had that respected toughness. But, we had Gino Ojic and Donald Brashear. But it started with Craig Cox. Craig Cox fought Bob Probert, and it was very memorable for us. Craig Cox, yeah.
That's a good name. That's a really good name. Shout out to that guy's parents. All right, so one last question for you.
Sure.
The concept of a player coach really baffled Helga, too. She said, how is that fair? That's not even fair at all. So I'd like you to, is it fair? I don't know. I don't know what a hockey coach does on a given game, honestly. Like I said, a hockey coach in my head just barks out orders like rah, 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 and then gives the goon a look to fight someone. That's what a hockey coach does in my head. So I don't know who the main actor was either. I have no fucking idea who it was. I didn't look him up, unfortunately. Either you could tell me it's like Rob Redford. That's an old actor. I don't know. But yeah, what does a coach do?
Well, you can have player coaches in the NHL. Oh wow! So the 8 did come second there. You can have player coaches in pro sports, and we see player coaches in baseball. I mean, remember, the Babe.
I gave her Bill Russell. Yeah, I gave her the Bill
player
Russell.
Coaches in basketball. Player coaches in lower sports. Sean Sportsbet says Paul Newman. Yeah, we'll just let him believe whatever he wants. There's Lamont Williams in the house. Nice job, Lamont. I guess you need to know what is offside? Jose?
In hockey?
Yeah.
You can't go past the blue line before the puck.
You're right. Okay, good.
I learned that only because I've played the NHL games and I've went offside so many times.
Mark Schellenberg saying the Probert Domi fights were always great.
I know Max Domi.
Let me ask you, after watching Slapshot, do you feel like you're more of a man?
Well, I have a question, and this one might get me kicked, and I'm worried already because I see that hand placement. Is Paul Newman Canadian?
No.
Okay, all right. I was just wondering. Okay, so I thought if he was, I knew he would be a Canadian superstar, and I didn't want to get the big boot because of that. But let's talk quotes, favorite quotes in the movie.
Okay. Let's hear it.
My first one I wrote down was very early in the movie. I thought this one really summed up a hockey career. Anyone that throws me into the boards, I'm gonna piss all over myself. So go in and start the movie. I told you earlier I'm gonna flash him, Joe. I'm gonna wiggle my dick out. That was a classic. Everyone loves that. They brought their fucking toys with them. I love that how he said fucking. I think really my favorite quote was I underlined the fuck scenes for you. I think that sums up the movie perfectly. You get some little heart in there. I didn't understand the ending of the movie. The ending of the movie really threw me for a loop. I was so fucking lost. But I really enjoyed that. And I don't know what the name of the best player was, but he was a pussy. So shout out to him. And my two favorite quotes again was how Hannerhan, aka Joel Hannerhan, as I call him, said "son of a bitch." I loved how he said it. And then of course, Suzanne sucks pussy. And that was a good one. I love that. That was a classic.
Yeah, Suzanne sucks pussy is the most memorable line.
It's a classic. I think automatically. You know what, Jim? In 2021, Helga wants to suck some pussy. It's okay. There we go.
Oh,
that's progressiveness right there. And by the way, this movie was progressive. Woman owner in hockey. Yeah, here we go. Can't say anything about that.
You're right. Do you feel like you're more of a man now after watching Slapshot?
A little bit. I do just yell Suzanne sucks pussy now every so often.
Sure.
To Alexis now. So yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm excited for the next movie. And Helga is too. Helga asks me about these every week now. So it is a fun time. I'll give you the bucket scale. I forgot to ask Alexis, and I will ask her again. But I'll give this 4 out of 5 buckets.
Oh wow! So Slapshot got more buckets than planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah, yeah. I think so. I'm texting her right now. Sorry for Slapshot. But yeah, no. I think it being a sports movie helped it right there. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of sports movies, but I think I would rather watch a sports movie than my man Jim Candy fucking trying to hitch a ride with Steve Martin or whatever his name is. So
that hurts my feelings. That hurts my feelings.
Did you like the voice message that I sent you yesterday too?
Very much
to pull the curtains back a little bit.
I liked it very much.
Yeah, I thought you would. It was a good movie. Like I said, I also I'm excited for this next movie. So I'd love to hear what we're thinking now. We've had a lot of Kids has been recommended a couple times. And then there's some other ones, but Kids keeps getting recommended. Airplane with Kareem, I remember that one. So
we will. I'll have one for you by Friday. I promise.
Okay, well, you better because it's going to be an exciting time. And Jim, by the way, to end it, I know this is a lot of me at the end of the show. I know the chat it can only handle little doses of me. I will tell you now, Friday. I am going to break down UTSA UTEP. I said it before, biggest game in program history for UTSA. I said there would be a lot of them this year. This is another one. And it's actually it's next week, so I'm actually teasing it for you next week. But next week I'll break it down for you, and it's going to be College Game Day. Calling my shot now. The Roadrunners going to do it.
I love it. There he is, Jose Bouquet. The movie Slapshot got 4 buckets, 4 out of 5 buckets. That's the second movie that we've given him. The first one was Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Thank you, my man. Enjoy the rest of the day. And thank you for all the hard work you do behind the scenes on the show, my guy.
Hey, no problem. Do we have another segment that we're going to that I don't know about?
I'm just going to review. I'm just going to review all action.
Oh, okay, great. Hey, have fun reviewing all action. Because remember, now I'm even on horse races because I bet my whole profit on that last horse.
Yes. Yeah, that's tricky. Late to the party, early to the funeral. The Say Hey play of the day is the first 5 over 4.5 at -120. I got the Say Hey play of the day earlier at -115, but I'm not sitting here enormously confident on it. Trot Wam is on the Miles Bridges over 19.5 points at -108. I am going to move on the Celtics here as soon as the show is over, but I'm not going to double up, and I do think they bounce back after that horrific first home game of the year. Wham is on the Heat at +4. That's moved to 3.5. I'm not sure if I'm going to take the ass end of the line. Pacers, Raptors, no move. Hawks, Pelicans, no move. I'm on the under 117. I haven't bet it yet, so I plan to be on the under 117.5 in Timberwolves Bucks. First half, under 117.5. I'm interested in OKC here, but I don't really want – I don't know if I can pull the trigger on OKC, but I you know what? I do think they can keep this game close. Then I'm on the first half under 114. I will be on in the Kings-Suns game. And then the only bet I'd already made in basketball was I doubled up on the Blazers first quarter, first half. But we'll see if Chauncey Billups is capable of motivating them. Then Cavs, Clippers, no action for Wham or myself. I'm on the Panthers -1. Didn't beat that market move. It's still where exactly it was when I bet it. And I'm nervous about it. I destroyed the Leafs -1 market move and the Dallas Stars -1, and I will be adding the Flyers first period a little closer to puck drop. That is the show here. Thank you guys so much for rolling with us. It was another long one, and just so thankful to have the opportunity to cap with you guys each and every day. So love you guys, and it's 3 out of 5, 3 buckets out of 5 from Helga for the movie. Okay, 3 out of 5. So she liked Planes, Trains, and Automobiles better. Mike M, Epic Cappers, Will Opie in the house. Brian Pacone, Real Deal Prime, Leo Leon, Razor Sharp Picks, Delaware Try 1, 4, 5, 6. Oh man, I'm gonna be sitting here betting all day. 1, 4, 5, 6, 2 for our Razor Sharp Picks. Oh, that's over in Delaware.
Jim, I forgot too. I forgot my hockey play of the day. I forgot to give it to you. It's Bruins, obviously. This show is against sexual assault, Jim. I can say we are one of the first betting shows to be openly against sexual assault. I want to hear other shows say it. So we are against sexual assault, and we're betting the Bruins tonight against the Florida Panthers, giving them their first L.
You know, you're right. It bothers me so much that all the other sports gambling shows are for sexual assault. And I think you make a very important salient point. You want +105. Can you get better than +105?
I got 115 on Bet Dog, Bodog, Bovada. So
right now?
Yeah, I bet it during the show, and I'll look it up again right now.
No, it's all good. That's fine.
No, hey, it's still there. I promise you. And these Bruins, they're gonna win, and I can't wait. Yeah, +115 to win full game.
Bruins +115, and we are now you owe both Skee and I steak dinner, by the way. So
yes, yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be a great time.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm gonna feel like a pimp and have my guys with me paying for their meals. Woo!
All right. Thank you guys so much for rolling with us. Billy Friedrich says, have another drink or 4. That's sober, Jose. That's sober Jose right there. I love you guys. Have a giant Wednesday. I'm excited about tonight's card. We have a big week ahead of us. Dutch Boy Fresh will be our special guest tomorrow. But most importantly, let's get paid in full. Leche, hey, those bookmakers!